everyone again. Welcome back to another one of these amazing faction set reviews. This time we're on Artifacts and Colourless. We've got two legends of the Magic community. We've got Tampa Pack and Trent Clark.
Howdy.
It's just been an absolute joy to do this. Swanee, once again, you're an absolute legend to everyone in our community, even in the Melbourne community and just Australia at large, who have been part of everything we've done. Some of you are in these cards. Some of you will possibly be in some of the future cards. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and some of you may have just heard the stories that are on the cards, and then when you see it play out, it's like, that's really, really funny. Exactly. There's nothing better than just reliving like some of your best moments with mates over the last 10 years, literally playing those moments out in front of you. That's just a crazy... I've always thought... it was when we first made that first Jank Cube at Nats in the room with Swanee, and it made me realise that Magic isn't so much like a game as it is a language. Yeah. And if everyone around you, if they understand the language, then there's just endless possibilities that you can do with that language. And this is probably the craziest example I've ever seen of that. We're going to kick things off here. I'll kick it off with the AI Cube. Now, I've never played the AI Cube, but I've heard it's pretty good. So we've got the AI Cube. So we're all artifacts here and colourless. So it costs 7 colourless, or 7, sorry, generic. Is it called generic these days? How do you, Legendary artifact, Cube. It's a 9/9. So this is got a +1, as in like a loyalty counter looking +1. Of course, because it's the AI Cube. Draw a card. Creatures you control have non-basic land, trample. 8. Target creature gets +1 -12 until end of turn. Crew 4. Has Mike explained how this works? Can you +1 it? Can you actually do that first effect? Or is there nothing to put the counters on?
I must admit, I did actually see this card in the draft. I read it twice. Still didn't quite understand what it did and just passed it to my left. So,
yeah, I mean, at 9/9, crew 4 is like no joke.
Yeah,
if you ever crew that thing, like you're not losing.
It's not a vehicle.
Oh, so because it's not a vehicle, it can't.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
Because it doesn't have a subtype vehicle.
I presume that it needs a subtype and all. I could be wrong because I don't know.
So maybe it just literally does nothing.
Yeah, it could do nothing because there's cards that Cube that did nothing.
Well, I guess at the very least you can use the third ability.
You can use the first ability too.
And the first ability,
yep.
So
you can draw a card, you can tap it, you can use an 8 to kill something every turn.
Yeah.
But if you could draw a card by +1 loyalty, wouldn't that assume that it comes in with 0 loyalty and state-based effects would just kill it?
No, I don't believe so because it's not a planeswalker.
Crazy.
It just has the activated ability of a planeswalker.
So it's not a creature, so creatures
can also use activated abilities of planeswalkers, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah. That you're not referring to like how Heart of Kiran can crew from a planeswalker's loyalty ability?
No, that's different.
Okay.
Again, I could be off because this is super weird.
Yeah, I mean, this one just totally... This is a great example, and I mean, of course it's a joke, being that it's the AI Cube. But this is one of them examples of where when people say reading the card explains the card. There are so many cases.
That is a lot of shit.
Yeah, there are so many cases where you're like, no, but it doesn't specifically say this corner case.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is. So.
Explain to me what Limdu's Vault does. Explain to me. Read the card explains, does it?
The opponent played twice.
Change Mistopheles. Yeah, you want to tell me what that one does? Read the card. Explains it.
Yeah, exactly.
Same shit.
Transmute artifact.
Yeah. 12 minutes.
Read it,
yeah. Read the card, explains the card. Not so much.
Yeah, exactly. So AI Cube, absolutely impossible to...
Happy to pass that one on.
Yeah. Completely.
Sorry. Could be busted. That's all right. I'll pass it on.
If Mike says it can attack as a creature, a 9/9 for 7 is mental.
Well, it can definitely attack and block.
Yeah.
But it's not a creature. It's in the same way it's not a planeswalker or a vehicle, it's not a creature either.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, if cube means that it can do all those things, then that's amazing.
Look, we could be right on all 3, we could be right on 1, wrong on 2. Yeah. Mike can leave a note in the comments about how badly
you know what? It might actually say it here. Ian's Robo Rosewater Cube that is completely bonkers and only barely makes sense in the rules.
Yeah, so there's probably a bit going on with this one. We might have touched on it, we might have not.
Exactly.
Mike can leave a comment. Yeah, reading the card explains the card.
And just one more thing, again, when I always like to point these out whenever I notice these tiny bits of flavour that he adds, but down here you've got this binary, all these numbers
my
down
Lord, I
here.
didn't see
Just
that.
all these little things everywhere throughout the set.
Touch on the AI cube when we were in Remove Ball and we had the teams.
Yeah.
I was up drinking the night before, and then I watched the F1s before the
Yeah,
team.
that's right.
Hell yeah.
So I got like 2 hours sleep, whatever, and I
Friday,
got paired up my team, and I was like, oh, right, everyone can like do this or whatever, and Mike was like, I want to draft the pre-modern. Was it pre-modern?
Yeah, I think we had
Pre-modern.
pre-modern was one of them, yeah.
But that was like the one that he does, so he wasn't allowed to do it because I was going to do the AI cube, and then we changed. I was like, oh, thank God. Me on 2 hours sleep with this shit, no way. And then I remember just Swanee sitting next to me. He was doing the AI cube, and he like spell got counted. His opponent drew 6 cards. I'm like, and Swanee just looked at me, and I'm like, "What are you doing, dude?" He's like, "I don't know, nothing."
I think it might
Count target spell,
have
draw
been
6, gain 6, or something.
I think Sahar was mentioning that on one of the podcasts.
Yeah.
Back. I don't know if it was Sahar himself or he just.
It was
said
Sahar. It was, yeah.
that.
That's sick.
Ridiculous.
Alrighty, that's card 1.
All right, we've got the classic El Cafe, 3 mana artifact. Tap creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. Sacrifice El Cafe. El Cafe deals 2 damage to any target. Yeah, I'll touch more of the flavour. We have these, obviously, the faction invitationals, where often we're getting upwards of 30 people. We need a massive coffee dose in one hit. Shane's go-to is the old Audi staple, the El Cafe, which is only barely above international roast on the dog shit coffee scale.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop me from screaming El Cafe 7 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning and Sunday morning for a coffee brew for everyone. Look, it's not a great card. I mean, look, it's at a pinch, it's 2 damage for 3 mana for any deck. So I guess at a pinch you've got some average removal if you're really low on removal. Creatures you control gain haste when you tap it. Yeah. Look, it's not my favourite card.
Kills a lot of stuff. 2 damage
yeah.
kills a lot of those good creatures.
There are some artifact interactions in this set, obviously, but it's nothing I'm going to pick very high up. I don't know about you boys.
No.
I'd lean into it a little bit because if I look at it, it's either a rare or an uncommon. I think it's an uncommon.
Yeah.
There's a reason that card is an uncommon, not a common, and I reckon it's because the creature you control gain haste.
Yeah.
There's ways to break that.
Yeah.
There's ways to bust that up.
Yeah.
Any of the Jonos.
Yeah,
games is literally.
So to preface it, we just we did the set for multicolored where I went and I explained it. So I don't know these cards.
Yeah.
So I'm about 2 hours into this set. All I've seen are the multicolored cards. Don't know a whole lot of what else is going on, but working in a card store and knowing what CDH and EDH looks like, I know that creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. It's an extremely powerful and very much beloved effect to have on cards. People go as far to play like Crashing Drawbridge. 2 mana 0/4, tap, all your creatures get haste.
Sure.
Yeah. People love that card. And so I would
not sleep
keep an eyeball out.
Yeah.
Because there might be a few things going on with this.
Yep.
And if that is the thing that's going on, then you want this card, and then the backup of having deals 2 to any target is molto bene.
And I read that to mean as well that El Cafe deals 2 damage is the effect of having one of these in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. The flavor's
Yeah.
fantastic, but yeah, I just knowing Swanee and knowing this ridiculous cube plus the knowledge of knowing that effect is really powerful. I would just be a little more open-minded about that card.
Yep. And if what you're saying is correct, you're probably going to be able to have that card and get an El Cafe pretty late in the draft.
Yep, and you'll be. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You'll be able to wheel it. No one else will want it,
Yep.
but you'll want it, and it'll be very good for you.
Exactly. Yep.
Awesome.
Is this me?
Yes, you.
Altruistic Scooper. We've got the Leonard. 1 mana 0/2 artifact creature, washed ally. When he dies, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Have you queued or have you already queued? No, I just want to go to the pub. That is, I reckon we've all said that. 1 mana goes into anything. 0/2. It's a washed ally, so we've seen a couple of benefits for having washed things in your deck. But it's very low power.
Yeah.
Very low power. Can't attack. 0/2.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a. Again, there might be some synergies I don't know about, but I'm not into it.
All I think when I see this is it just makes me realise how insanely good Luminarch Aspirant is. Like, that it's just the one where it's handing out 1/1 counters on before combat.
Yeah, insane. Yeah.
It's like, this has got to die, and it also doesn't do anything itself.
Yeah. Synergy card, but low powered synergy card.
Yep.
Outside of like where you have the stone nuts with like all the +1s or +2s or whatever, and just run your opponent over.
Yep.
Yeah, in limited, if you're playing a 1-drop, you probably want to be using it to curve out. You're probably not wanting a 0/2 that's sitting there waiting for it to have some interaction.
The fact that it can't attack without assistance the turn after. It doesn't even get from 20 to 19.
Exactly.
You can't move the needle.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
It's just card disadvantage. Like, you play that on turn 1, you just down a card. Like, it's not doing anything.
You need it to be synergistic. And, from what we've seen so far, not that into it.
But as we know from playing a little bit and from previous videos, a lot of synergy with O2 creatures and watch creatures. So yeah, there's possibly something you can do with this if you're in the right deck. Just quickly on this one, Altruistic Scooper, we'd much rather beat the pub.
We'd much rather beat the pub than finish this event. Yeah, always true for every event I've played in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Is nice though if you do a good event. Alright, Budget Airliner. It's 3 mana, it's an artifact vehicle, it's a 3/1, it's got flying, Budget Airliner, can't block, crew 1. Arrives with just about enough time for 3.5 hours sleep before round 1.
Yeah.
We've got the Tiger playing here. It seems good. It is a 3/1, so it's got that 1 toughness issue, but because it's a vehicle, the 1 toughness issue is kind of made a lot thinner and only against specific types of things that can do that damage, usually at instant speed or not on your own turn. I found this card really hard to deal with. 3/1 in the air, sure can't block, but the kind of decks you're playing it in, it doesn't want to anyway. It seemed really, really strong, and it can crew, just by blowing on it, so I like it. I would play it in the kind of deck that Tristan, the Boros kind of theme, all of that stuff. This is where you're going to want to be playing something like that. And it seems really strong to me.
Look, I guess what you're saying around some of the removal spells where you're doing 1 damage, because obviously it's not a creature all the time, it's a little bit harder to deal with it in that regard. Often your 3/1 flying spell creatures or spells, their ability to do stuff in a set is dictated often by is there any 1/1 flying creatures around, like tokens, like a Literal Soul effect.
Mitchell loves this one.
Oh, yeah. You obviously don't want to be playing this and then you're staring down the barrel of a 1/1 flyer that barely costed 1 mana generally to get out. It kind of reads as a little bit filler for mine. What do you think, Trent?
I think it's a sideboard card.
Yeah.
I think this card, without prefacing and knowing the format, this card could be a very, very good card in a bunch of limited formats. It could also be totally unplayable.
Yeah.
Like I said, you had a hard time dealing with it. That's probably because your deck wasn't constructed to be able to deal with 3/1 flyers.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe there's an abundance of cards that allow you to do this, and they just go in every deck.
Yeah.
Like the common, let's say El Cafe is better, right?
Yeah.
It just goes in every deck. It's like, well, this thing's just not gonna cut the mustard. But I could see this being quite a good sideboard way. It's like, well, both players are not being aggressive. You're both trying to build boards, but I can be a little bit more aggressive, and you sideboard into this with some cheaper creatures or whatever, and you can get them dead. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan because it's only played one way. you can't block.
Oh yeah,
And that's
exactly.
and that means that you have to lean into attacking your opponent.
Yes.
You have to be attacking.
Yep.
So if you're not into it, you can't play it.
Yeah.
It doesn't play both ways, unfortunately.
I actually played one of these in my deck. That was probably more around the fact that it was more of a 23rd card and I was struggling a little bit with playables. I did have a card like Bacardi Rob in my deck, which is a card I was able to use to in a pinch I could sacrifice. It was a 1/1 for 2 mana. Bacardi 1 Rob, if you tap it and sacrifice an artifact, you deal 2 damage to any target.
Okay, sure. So you get a backup way to like
backup way to get rid of it
removal.
if it's if it's not doing its job. So yeah, look, I can definitely see people playing it in their deck. It's not going to be in their top list of cards to play, but
Yeah,
you're going to occasionally play this as a filler card.
Yeah, I mean it's a common, right? It's a low power common. In a very wacky set.
Yeah,
you'll get them if you want them.
Yeah, I love that idea of playing on your sideboard actually when you know that they don't have.
Especially when they're gearing up to go bigger as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, this game went for 15 turns and he showed me 2 6s, a 7, a reanimation spell, a draw spell. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to board into my second reanimation spell and my second board spell. It's like, cool, I'm going to board out my 17th land, my 2 6s, my 7, my 5, board in 3 2-drops, 2 budget airliners, and you're dead.
Yeah,
I win game
exactly.
And psychologically, I think there's something about, like, when you're facing this thing down and you're sitting with something like sports injury in your hand, it's clearly correct to kill the thing with the sports injury if you're under pressure and you don't have a way to deal with it. It's just going to hit you 3 or 4 times. But psychologically, it really messes, I know with me, to feel like...
shit. Why would you want to do that?
Well, it's like one. It's got 1 toughness. It's like I've got to waste a premium removal spell on 1 toughness.
I got a 3/4 reach spider in my deck.
Exactly.
And then you've taken 9 damage, and then you do it 3 turns later, and you feel like an idiot.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, we got 2 of them, and they're just everything's crewing, and it's going ooh, scary. You keep getting your own
cards.
That's
my turn. I keep getting all the cards I want to read out. This is Coach Cap, 3 colorless mana, legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has tap. Other creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Equip 3. Yeah, look, it's expensive. Equipped creature has plus. So you're basically having to spend 6 mana to even use its ability the first time. Other creatures you control, and then you have to tap the creature to do for all your other creatures to get that. It's a lot to pay for that ability, because you're basically taking one of your creatures and effectively taking it out of combat. This is the kind of effect you want to be attacking with 4 or 5 creatures. You're already 1 down on that regard. I don't particularly like it myself. I can see you playing it at a look. I guess if you're playing the go wide deck, you're probably going to have a bunch of wash creatures, so maybe you put this on a wash creature. Having said that, 6 mana to do this ability, it's not really what I like. How about yourself, boys?
I think there's 2 things going on. This card is either a straight A+ or a straight F.
Yeah,
it's either the best card, like one of the best cards in the set, or one of the best cards for a specific archetype.
Yep.
Or it's just completely heinous and unplayable, too slow, whatever.
Yeah.
The other one is that this is a sub infinite combo with the kind of spell that we've seen before. With the tap, everything gets +2. I'll untap, I'll exile creature from my graveyard. I'll get a +1/+1 counter. And you can do that as many times as you get creatures in your graveyard to pump up everything else.
I know there's a lot of
actually.
There's a lot of talk at the draft table. People going, "Oh, this is a combo with this," and I don't know if this is one of the cards I'm talking about, but I think if you look through the set, there's a lot of 2-card combos that probably you're not thinking about when you're first looking at a card. So yeah, really interesting. Good point.
Like it's slow. It's obviously slow, but again, we've touched on it's a slow format.
Yep.
If you had let's say you've got a bunch of the scoopers, a bunch of the airliners, some of the wash guys, and then it's like, you've got, let's say you've got 7, 8, 6 creatures or whatever. Turn 7, here's my 6 land, here's my Coach Cap attack. Yeah. So shit, that came from nowhere, and it's +2, and it's coming in again the next turn.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe that could be, again, it's very format dependent.
Yeah.
But that could be insane.
Yeah.
But it could also be, no, this is just too slow. You haven't presented any threats that I care about.
Yeah.
Play the Coach Cap. All right, Coach Cap's dead, or creature that you equip to is dead. You've lost the turn. Your mana's gone. You're falling behind. The game's over.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think one way or the other. But I would love to be able to find the combo with this. Like,
Yeah.
be able to really bust it out. Maybe it's There was the sorry, going a little bit there. There's the was it artifacts and equipment cost 1 less to cast?
There was another kind. That was the where he's
Red white.
He's
Was
the
that
go-kart one.
was that
Yeah,
specifically
yeah.
artifacts and equipment,
I believe.
or was that equipment and vehicles? It might have been equipment and vehicles.
Yeah,
I think this is artifact and equipment. It makes this thing cost 1 to
Right.
1 to play, 3 to equip, and
Yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah.
that is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, you've effectively cut your turn down by 2
yeah.
if you can play that. So it's like turn 4, play the. I think it was it a Nathan or what the Tristan?
Oh, Tristan was he's the one
I was
that
thinking,
duplicates
the Tristan
yeah,
card.
yeah.
How does that go with that Tristan card?
It seems like a number, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because you're giving everything potentially +4, +0, but you're also taking 2 of your 6 creatures out
What
of
if
the
you had
equation.
What if you had a vigilant creature? What if you attacked with a vigilant creature? Attack you with vigilance, tap it, everything gets +2/+0, including the.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, love that. Yeah. So putting it on the vigilance creature. Yep. Yeah, that's sick.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of things you can do, like a lot of cooking. This is
Yeah.
a very, very chef-heavy card.
Could be one of those cards where people are just going to go, it's trash early on in the draft, and midway through the draft, it gets taken a lot higher because there's stuff you can do with it that people eventually see.
Sutcliffe always says something that really that I think is it's brilliant. It's someone needs to beat me with it. This card you need to prove to me that this card can beat me with it.
Yep.
You need to beat me with it. You need to prove that it's good in order for me to be a believer, and then I'll be a believer.
Yeah,
I feel like
right.
this is exactly that, because
Exactly.
it's all there.
Yeah.
You can read it and you're like +2/+0 is obscene.
Yeah,
It's so
of
much
course,
damage
yep.
if you're in that deck. But how do you make it work?
Yeah.
But if you can make it work consistently, you're the only one at the table that's going to want it.
Yep.
And it's going to be, again, it's going to be a fucking S tier card, or it's not going to be playable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love
absolutely.
and I love the artwork
it's
going on.
insane,
So
isn't
sick.
it?
Yeah.
Leonard organised a group present to get Hoodie a custom-made hat to show our appreciation for bringing the team together.
I just,
I think that might have been one of the first times I've ever seen Hoodie lost for words.
Yeah, I was going through a really rough weekend personally. I wasn't able to
you struggled a
make
little bit there.
the first. I wasn't able to play in the championship because I was missed the first day, and I arrived and I wasn't expecting that at all. And I got presented with that, and I was pretty close to tears actually. It was amazing, and it's one of my favourite items I have in my house. Like,
cherished.
Absolutely cherished.
Great.
The hand on your head, that is someone's hand.
That's
isn't it?
Waylon.
Yeah, that's what I say. It looks like Waylon's arm. Yeah. But
And
the drink, the whole bit,
One
is just
white creature.
great. Yeah.
And that was me later on that day, and you can see kind of how happy I am. And I mean, you guys have heard me talk about the team that much, but I mean, I don't show a heap of happiness generally, and you can see how happy I am there. So it just goes to show
Really
what
nice.
the boys mean to me.
Yeah, that was really, really nice. All right.
Das Boot. 3 mana 2/3 artifact creature construct, uncommon. You may exert Das Boot as it attacks. If you do, it deals 2 damage to you, and you draw a card. This card is awful. No, I don't know.
Well,
It's really, really cool.
what are you exerting it? As
2
well?
to your face,
Yeah.
and you draw a card. I don't like it. I think it's too much.
Yeah.
The
The
thing
two
is
to your
too much.
face is always really significant. There's a black card. It's a Gary card. It's a flyer. I was playing it. When it comes in, it does 2 damage to you and your opponent. And just taking that to yourself is like, ooh, gotta watch out. Like,
I mean, that's not too bad because at least
there.
you can build around that.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
You can't
true,
build
yeah.
around this.
No.
Like, deal 2 to you and you draw a card. This thing needs to be able to attack and exert.
Yeah.
So if your creature has, if you have 3/3 or a 2/3 or whatever, it's like, yeah, you draw a card, but this thing's not coming off. This thing's not coming untapped next turn.
No.
There might be combos with it again,
Yeah.
like a voltaic
Yeah,
kind of thing where you can keep exerting it and drawing, like Howling Mining yourself, but you're taking damage.
Mm.
And we have said that it's a slow format, so maybe on turn 3, if you're on the play, you play this, it gets an attack in, and then it untaps, and next turn you cash it in for another card, but you've taken 4 damage there. Also, 2 turns later, you've got that. Yeah, I'm not.
I think I just prefer to drink Das Boot and not have to worry about taking all that damage.
If if you were to put a bone splitter on this, like let's say we make it, it's an equipment gives +2/+0. Let's say we augment it and we make it a 4/3, and then we exert it. It's like we take 2, but we're coming in for 4, and we're replacing the dust boot. Like that's better. That's okay. But by itself, it needs some help. You need to augment that 2. Make that 2 a 3 or 4 or 5, and then you're cooking. But I think as a 2/3 by itself, it's not where I want to be.
Yeah. So dust boot is the shoe glass at Nathan's house that Leonard got splashed by every time he drank from it.
Seen that a few times.
So, that's great. Alrighty.
Iconic.
Dickhead Cap. Costs 2. It's an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. There's your bone saw. As long as it's your turn, equipped creature has first strike. Pretty good. 8. Unattached Dickhead Cap. Only your opponents may activate this ability. And it's equipped 3. You can't wear that in here. So +2/+0. And when it's your turn, it's got first strike. For 2. Equip for 3. Equip for 3 is a little bit brutal on this. +2/+2 and attacking with first strike is real good though. Gee, I wish I didn't equip for 3. That's probably why it's common. I don't know, what do you guys reckon? That the unattached Dickhead Cap, that's never happening. Oh, yeah. I mean, no one's paying 8 for that to happen.
It's an interesting card because, +2/+0 and first strike make most creatures 9 on unblockable in this format.
Yep.
It does have a very steep price to pay to do it. 2 mana, then 3 to equip, and then I can just see situations where you're going to equip your Dickhead Cap and someone uses a removal on the creature that you're trying to equip, and you're just way behind in terms of turns and tempo. Look, it's not something I particularly want to use, but it's the kind of card that I could see sometimes being used, but it's probably once again not really the card I want to be using.
I feel like it either needs first strike all the time, or the equip cost needs to be lower. And maybe you could offset that if that's a bit good for it to always have first strike. You could offset that by making it 5 to unattached to get cap and on your opponents may activate. Because at 8, I'll be amazed if anyone ever makes that play, unless it's just some super weird corner case where they're either dead or they make that play. Because if you're holding up 8, you're just in so much trouble.
It's the kind of card you play with, Trent?
No, not really. No. There's a card from Streets in Yuki-Panna. It's a common. It's 3 mana. 3 mana. Equipped creature is +2/+0, and if it's your turn, equipped creature has first strike. But it has flash, and then when it comes in, it equips. But then the equip cost is 4 after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're missing all of the good stuff.
That's right.
Like,
yeah.
This, even to turn 5, we play this, we pay 3, we equip our creature. It's only +2/+0. It's only letting a creature get through.
Yeah.
If you've gone wide, it's only getting 1 through, so there's still on a reasonable life total. And if you've gone tall, then it doesn't really matter because they can either chump block it because they can't beat in combat anyway, or they just take 7 or whatever and go to 10.
Yeah.
I cannot say. I think this card is like a D. If you were to use the 8th ref metric, I'd say it's like D, D-. It's pretty bad. Yeah. If you can bring down the equip costs again, if you can bring them down, sure, it's probably fine.
Yeah,
you can get that equipped from 2 to 3 to 2, then maybe. But
3, exactly. Even 3 to 2 is.
If you could go turn 4, I play this, I equip, and I attack. Very different.
Yeah,
very different.
Different. The whole card changes.
Yeah,
and as I say, maybe you would get around that power level by making it so they can unattach it cheaper or something.
But yeah, I'm not into this.
The only corner cases I can think of where it's almost passable is if you've got some delayed flight passengers, which you've put out on the first turn. So it's a suspend card, 1 white mana, it's 3/2 flyer, suspend 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing where in a niche circumstance like that, when you're not paying your full amount for your delayed flight passenger, you can equip it. It comes at 5,
you paid your suspend, and then okay.
Which isn't so bad, but in some
You've got better things to do with your mana.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to be better things to do with your mana.
Do you want to? Would you just give us the
Leonard wears this to a GP and the judge tells him to take it off.
I never knew that.
Oh,
That's crazy.
really?
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I would.
As in, really that he wore it, or really that a judge told him to take it off?
Yeah, piss that judge off.
Yeah,
These judges need to get a bit.
I would. I can see that. Like, I would never tell someone to take it off, but I could see people. There's people who.
That's offensive. Oh, well,
I can imagine someone. Yeah,
Throw
you could
up.
say doodle head, and there'd be someone who wants you to take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, that's dickhead calf. So you need to play this set to get great card names like that.
the egg bed. 3 mana. Artifact food. I like this. I like where this is going. When egg bed enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature or artifact you control to its owner's hand. When egg bed leaves the battlefield, create a 3/3 blue elemental token, and it has the food clause. 2 taps, sack it. You gain 3. Interesting card. Enters the battlefield, you may return. When it leaves, make a 3/3 blue elemental token, and you gain 3. You've got a ton going on here.
You do.
Ton going on.
I just saw Alex play this against me.
Yeah.
In the first round.
How was it?
I didn't do much that game, but he had a whole bunch of other things going on where he was using his mana, so it's a very Alex card, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, if you can sacrifice this, so you can get some value on the front end, you can get some sacrifice on the back end as well. Like obviously, you can sack itself, make a 3/3. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice little card. It does a little bit. Again, we've touched on it many times, or touch on it again. We've said that it's a slow format, so things like this aren't too bad. Like things like this are okay to do. You're not going to die because you have egg bed in your deck. This is good against like pacifism effects. Things like dead weight, sleep paralysis, those kind of like claustrophobia effects. Good for obviously recurring cheaper or more expensive, really powerful into the battlefield effects. Good if you have like the sausage connoisseur.
Yep.
Oh, sure. What did it do?
That's a 3/3, but if you sack a food, draw a card, gain.
Yeah.
So like you can get a little bit more out of this, like by actually drawing a card and then getting the 3/3.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of everything that I like about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it'll swing. I think it'll swing one way or the other. It's either you really like this card because you've built your deck with this frame in mind and be able to just like the 6 lines of text and you could pull from 5 of the 6 lines of text.
Yeah, man.
Or you haven't built with it and you only pull from 3 lines of text and it's not good enough.
Yes.
It's actually, it'd be a kind of card I'd love to play with the Bacardi Rob, where
what was that one again? Sorry.
that was the 1/1 for 2 mana where he can tap Bacardi Rob and sacrifice a creature sacrifice an artifact to do 2 damage to any target.
Sure.
So really elegant way.
Yeah, to return something.
Yeah.
You instead of sacrificing to gain through life, you shoot something and then you get a 3/3.
And
that's good.
And they're both commons, I think.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to pull off.
Yeah. Would obviously be way more cracked if it had flash. That would be fantastic because you could say all your creatures and do all
Definitely
that fun stuff.
Definitely would be a common at that spot.
Yeah. I think I've never been big on creatures with ETBs in these kinds of decks, so I usually gloss over that first part of it. But I could see certainly that there's
Sweet sideboard card.
Yeah,
Sweet
exactly.
sideboard card.
Like if you're just playing against a red deck, that's just great because you can gain a bit of life. You can also create the blocker. And
First ability is great with I saw lots of cozy hammocks running around, which was the blue tap a creature, it doesn't untap.
Yep.
I think there might be a pacifism type effect, which you touched on probably before. It does a lot of different things at different times of the game.
Yep. So that's egg bed.
Nice little linchpin.
Yeah, exactly.
And Egbed, JD was at a faction Airbnb for an RCQ and insisted on sleeping in the weird egg couch outside instead of anything inside.
Yeah, well, there's nothing inside actually. They were relegated to the outside.
Oh, okay.
They were quite comfy until the Saturday night where everybody bombed, and we got home at I want to say 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then JD wanted to go to sleep, but no one else did. So everybody went out and sat in the egg bed while JD tried to sleep, and they did not get any sleep. They learned what the Jerrys in the faction were.
Yeah. It's always a hard lesson. Is this mine? Electric Scooter, I think it is, yeah. 2 mana, it's an artifact vehicle. It's a 3/3. If Electric Scooter is crewed with more than one creature, exert it as it attacks. When you do, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Crew 1. So if you can crew with more than one creature, exert it as it attacks. The way the crew works, you can just use. You can crew something
as many times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can do it yourself.
I love that flavour as well.
Exert. Yeah. I would love it if it was like for every additional creature it gets plus
bigger.
Yeah,
sure.
That would be really cool. The fact that no matter how many times you do it, it's just exerted. Exert's really tough, right? Like exert, I mean, when it's on Glorybringer, it's like obviously absurd. But I don't think many exert cards have like lasted the test of time, right? Like they're just not that good. It's a
limited form. It's a limited mechanic.
Yeah.
It's not meant for constructing.
Yeah,
purposes.
cool. Yep. Yeah, because it just seems like really, just such a massive cost.
It is one that gets extremely dangerous with the text you put underneath it.
Sure.
So Glorybringer is a perfect example of a standard powered staple where it's like, yeah, this is probably too powerful for what we've printed on it for standard level play, or it is the best card of the set. But you can imagine putting any like dangerous text underneath exert and seeing it go horribly wrong. So that's why it's tempered with these kind of things.
Yeah,
because it's designed with limited implications.
Yeah, Armageddon was a classic set of lots of
attacking
exert creatures. They were almost all of them were.
They were all good.
Yeah.
Yep. Almost all of them were good.
Yep.
Like one of the examples of one going close to dangerously wrong was there's Hope Tender. It's one of the green for 2/2.
Yeah.
You tap it to untap a land, or you can exert it to untap 2 lands.
Yeah.
All right.
That's dangerous.
Yeah,
that only takes a couple of different lands to be like Lotus Field, right? Let's say more variants of Lotus Field, or the removal spells are there, and then all of a sudden, like you've got a busted format. Like Hope Tender is just the best thing you can ever be doing.
Just untap Tolarian Academy and Manamo, and then you tap from
or Saga right. Like there's worlds in which that exert mechanic can go horribly wrong.
Yes, exactly. What I will say that's a little bit interesting, again, kind of just a different way of thinking of this, is it may be semi-suited for a wash deck where you can just use those O2s as a way to crew as well. Like you'd still need a 1 toughness creature, but then you could get that second one easily just off a wash
Cruise
token.
power though, is it?
Yep, Cruise power.
But they're O2s, but they're still going to give you just that extra creature, because what it wants is more than one
if you
creature.
crew it all together, it'll be fine.
So you'd go tap a 1/1 and a wash creature to crew it.
Just don't try and do it the other way where you tap 1/1 then you tap.
No, of course. Yeah.
What do you think about this card?
I personally think that there's been sets over Magic's history where you've seen cards which put 1/1 tokens into play often as early as turn 2, and that's probably more the kind of card I'd want to be, because then you can crew nice and early. I can see this being the kind of card that's quite aggressive. There's not a lot that I can think of in this set that I want to. There's not many, there's no real 1-drops I can think of which you're going to just be able to play and then put this out second turn and then crew early. Once again, it's not really necessarily what I want to be doing, but it's not the worst card I've seen in the set.
So one of the better vehicles of all time was Heart of Kiran, which is cost 2. It's a 4/4, and yes, it has vigilance and the ability to crew from planeswalkers, but it's also crew 1.
Yeah.
And this, you don't get to do it every turn. So I am jumping through a few hoops here, but it's a 5/5, and it only costs you 2, and there's the opportunity cost for just having it sitting out there when it's. The problem with exerting a creature as well is it just opens up that extra turn for your opponent to first respond with a creature, and then while it's still tapped and hasn't been able to attack, then they deal with it. This you can't do that with because it's not a creature anymore. It's out of the game, but it's just that every time it comes back in, you're whacking them for 5 pretty easily. And that seems pretty good. I don't mind that, in an aggressive deck, for sure.
What do you reckon, Trent?
I think this card's really good.
Yeah.
Yep. I think this card's really good. If you just curve out, let's say I'm going to play, I'll put Scooter into play.
Yeah.
You put your whatever into play. Turn 3, get you 3.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
you play another creature, and now you've got 2/2 and 2/3. It's like, okay, cool. Turn 4, I'll play my creature. I'll play both. I'll equip. I'll either crew and attack with the 3-drop and my 2-drop, forcing you to either double block and I get to trade up a mana and get my 3-drop through, or you double block there, or I just exert it, get you for 5 with my 2-drop, and because like obviously with this card you need to be aggressive. You're never going to be defensive and have this card in the deck.
Yeah.
So this is the scenario that you put in this deck in the deck for. It's a lot of pressure. Like
big time.
Like imagine a world where I go exactly that, and you play an 0/2 on turn 2.
Yeah.
The turn 3 I attack you, and then turn 3 you play a 2/3 or another 0/2 or whatever. I get to attack you again. I don't exert it, and I'm just playing my creature, and then then you put something into play that I care about. Okay, cool. Now it's a 5/5.
Yeah.
Now so
Deal
this
with
is
it. Yeah.
it's a 2-drop. It's a 2-drop that's coming for 11 damage, and it's coming in for it's a 3/3 and 5. And then 2 turns later, it comes in for another 5, and then you're first to play. I think this card's just
it's really
fantastic.
Good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And asks nothing of you because it's cruel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. It just sits there and we play it on turn 2, and it's just great.
But you mentioned Hardikiran. I see Smuggler Copter.
Oh, sure. Yeah, exactly.
Right? And like it doesn't have flying, but
it's the rummage right is what makes Smugglers.
But that aside, just the play pattern of just like turn like the 3 damage adds up so quickly. And if you're in an aggressive deck, like this is reasonable with the 1/2.
Sorry, I'm double mixing up here because yes, you're right. Smuggler's Copter is the crew 1, Heart of Karen is crew 3. That's why you crew with Toolcraft Exemplar in beginning of combat. Yeah.
But like this is good with the Leo. With the 0/2 with the
exactly.
With the 1/2 Leo.
Yeah, it actually is.
Oh no, sorry, no. Leo was 0/2.
Oh, he was 0/2 himself.
He put a 1/1 counter on
right.
things, that's kind of the trick there is to find something. But if you can curve out with this thing's gonna be.
Yeah, it sounds like it slots right into that.
Gets in for 6 and then trades off with a 3-drop.
Because there's hardly anything that trades with it as well. Like it just eats the creature. You know, like they play their sausage connoisseur or whatever, and you've just got this out there, and they know they're either losing it or they're taking 5.
And that's the other thing. It's like, do I exert it? I don't have to.
Yeah,
exactly. Block now? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the trade. I traded up. So I think Electric Scooter is really, really good. Really sought after in aggressive decks.
What's the story here? Many faction stories involving line scooters, often with 2 people riding one at the same time. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
They're a problem. Oh.
All right, who are we up to?
Thank you.
Yeah. Faction Champs Trophy. We've got Legendary Artifacts. Suspend 2 for 2 mana. 2 cost mana. Tap it, discard a card, choose 1. Return target legendary creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or draw a card. Suspend. So you have to suspend it to play it, and then
the flavour is insane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my lord.
You want to describe the flavour?
Yeah.
So, you can't play it. You need to wait for it.
Yep.
Like you have to win the tournament. You have to play all your rounds. So suspend 2.
Yep.
And then 2, discard a card. Choose 1. Return target legendary creature. Return a person that has their name on the plaque already and engrave it again. Or draw a card. New player comes in, gets their name written down.
Yeah, it's
love
sick.
that.
So sick. That gives me like chills.
Yeah.
That's so.
Some of the
cool.
flavour of these cards is just incredible.
Yeah. And Rob won it twice.
He's
Rob's
won
won
once.
once.
Yeah.
Oh, he won once. Okay.
And Shano's got it twice.
Shane's the only one so far that's won it twice.
Is it Champs and Invitational or Champs and Champs?
So it was
because he won the
first one was Champs.
Yep. He beat me in an Invitational in Phillip Island.
Yeah, so it was one Champs and one NV for him. Yeah.
Yeah. And then everybody else is either one a Champs or an Invitational, but neither both, right?
Correct, exactly.
Yeah.
So is this good? So you rummage, or that effect is rummaging where you discard first and then you draw. Yep.
Look, I wouldn't play it if I didn't really have any legendary cards in my deck. From your graveyard to your hand, it's an interesting card. It's pretty niche because I don't know how excited I am to be paying 2 and tapping it to basically rummage. I'm not really at all.
It's the 2 that I reckon, if anything kills this card, it's the 2 that you have to pay to discard the card.
Yeah, and the suspend is not great because you having to wait you can't just hard cast this.
I don't mind that so much because you don't always. I mean, maybe you do. I mean, but really good rummage effects like Smuggler's Copter do take an extra turn. It's one of the best rummage effects in the entire game.
Yeah.
And it's got other things that you need to be able to do, like crew it.
Look, I think it's largely for mind deck dependent, personally. But yeah, I don't know.
Goes real well in any of these graveyard strategy decks. I mean, that is, even in just regular old draft, being able to rummage and filter through your deck, like Blood was huge, right? Like that is a really good effect. When you're the one, Blood was maybe a little bit different because everyone's using Blood. When you're the only one doing this effect and you're seeing lands and you're able to put them in the bin,
that
and
was
draw
the whole reason.
That's
the whole reason that Blood cards were the best in the format.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
It just beat the green and white cards out a lot of the time because they didn't generate blood.
So if you start grinding and it's turn 6 or 7 or whatever, maybe more, 9 or 10, whatever, and you're the one with this card, there's a good chance you're the one winning that game because of this card, even with the 2. But the 2 is where it doesn't fall apart. But if it's weak anywhere, that's what makes it tough. Because the legendary creature, that seems like the bonus kind of line. But draw a card here is what it seems to me like you'd want to be doing.
Yeah.
What if you discard the legendary creature and then just return it back to your hand?
Yeah, not great.
That's where you're at.
Yeah. Look, I think it's deck dependent. It's obviously going to suit slower decks as well. Obviously going to suit decks with some great legendary creature payoffs. Would I play this in every deck? Probably not personally, but I tend to play a bit more of an aggressive style of deck. Yeah. What about Trent? What do you think?
I don't think it's very good, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's a few things in my opinion that this might be the one that I've liked the least.
Yeah.
From a design perspective, and it might be because this is called the Faction Champs Trophy, and it's an uncommon.
That's an interesting.
That to me, I don't.
Should be a mythic rare.
I would make this one the big one.
Yeah.
This is my immortal son.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would lean into that and make it way more powerful. But that aside, suspend 2 with no casting cost is really harmful because you can't play the turn it comes in.
Exactly.
The thing is with this kind of thing is that you want to play it. You either want to play it early so that you can actually start getting the mana and manipulating your hand, or you want to play it late and immediately activate it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that you draw this late, you have to. It's on lay-by for 2 turns.
Exactly.
No good.
Yeah, you can just lose the game.
And then rummage for 2. Not where you want to be.
Sketchy.
Not
it's
where you
real
want to be.
desperation kind of.
So I think it misses. I can't see myself playing this one. Again, there's going to be a ton of synergies within this format as we've gone over, and you're always going to find niche applications for it, and it might be good in a bunch of decks. But I really would have loved to have seen this one be just Immortal Sun, mythic rare, something gets indestructible, or even it's 1 mana discard a card. Choose one or both, and then you get to discard a card and return a legendary creature. You lose the flavor that I hit on immediately with that because you're doing
it's one or the other.
It's one or the other. You can't have 2 winners, so I get that. But this is the one that I reckon just could have been pushed a bit more.
For the most part, he has done a really good job. This is Mike of because everything is so funny and such a moment for some person that it's so tempting that everything's just the rare or the mythic rare because that was the funny moment or the funny vibe, the funny thing.
You might be right.
But you are absolutely spot on. If anything is mythic rare, it's your chance to get on that trophy. There are guys, there are some of us to whom getting the name on there, it's just, it's virtually never going to happen unless you just run so hot at one of these events. Your competition you're up against is really, really difficult. That is a really...
It just makes you want more, right?
Of course, exactly. And seeing that trophy, that's kind of the flag for the whole set.
So quick
faction set.
Quick pop quiz: would you rather win a Faction Champs or a Faction Invitational?
Champs. Oh, why is that?
Tough competition.
I thought Champs was
tough competition.
I thought people took Champs were more serious.
I'd probably rather the championship for the prestige, but I think it's it's probably a harder tournament to win the Invitational.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like if you look at the ball, right?
I know. Yeah, the guys that are coming along,
right?
Like,
they're the guys you want to beat. They're the guys you want to
exactly.
beat, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you want to beat everybody. Like, let's be clear. Like,
Yeah.
like I would love to have my name on that, but I would also rather beat. Like, I'd rather beat a team of 43 or 40 players than 28.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just how my mind. That's how my mind operates, right?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, no, I definitely can see the answer going both ways.
Cool. All right, that's the trophy. So here we got faction shirt. Cost 1. It's an artifact. Equipment. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Equip creature gets +1/+1 and equip 1.
What's your favorite color?
Out of the faction shirts, oh god, that's a tough one. I know my least one's probably green, but maybe you got to go with classic yellow.
You like the yellow the most?
Even though as a color, I probably prefer.
I like the pink one. I'm not gonna lie, I like the pink one.
That's definitely the shirt that gets the most compliments.
Alec wears the shit out of it.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen lately?
Oh, Alex.
Alex, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I think he said Alec. Alex,
I did,
Yes,
and then
he is, yeah. He was wearing sweatpants to hoodies the other night. He must have come straight from the gym.
It was in Pog on Sunday. It was like in a team event. And people were like had to sit like literally this way because he was playing his cards. And
just bouncing from off his parts. Yeah. Seeing the yellow one, it like draws my eye to immediately like that's the one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they're all cool. Yeah.
Shots on, it's fine.
Yeah.
Shots on, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like this,
Yeah.
Aggressive decks, 1/8. There's some combos for it. That's what it is.
Yep. I would have this is the kind of deck, and this is what sometimes confuses me about limited. This is the kind of deck I would have even before the weekend just playing at hoodies because I don't think I've really seen this effect. As funny as that sounds, but I would say I would totally not be surprised when I go, oh, cool, yeah, it gets +1/+1, and I just get told, no, that is utter trash, never ever play it. It's card disadvantage, it's terrible, +1/+1 do nothing, and it's just horrible, and it's going to waste your mana and your cards.
So there's some formats where that, and historically, older formats that haven't lent themselves to like modern card design, this card was not playable.
Yeah.
But as they've turned the page and made spells worse and creatures better, and people playing like learning better Magic theory about playing to the board and being able to attack and block, this has become way more relevant, and like even a bit of a lean into the new set, the Lost Cabins of Ixalan, which we'll be drafting at the Invitational. These cards are actually good.
Yeah.
Like like this in Dominaria, this was like the literal short sword. It was actually a good card.
Yeah.
Because it's all about attacking, blocking, power.
Yeah, you put it on a 1/1 flying lifelink.
Now might not apply here because again, slow format. These cards aren't good in slow formats, but this with the cap and the Tristan and a few of other, there's a bit of cooking going on.
Specifically, what seems to make this card good is it just turns those 2/2s that are all kind of looking at each other into one being a 3/3 and it being
turns your wash boy into be able to crew the scooter.
Yeah, exactly.
Little things.
But sometimes it turns one of your creatures into being able to be single blocked to double blocked, and then that double block it
scales up. It
scales up. You can use a combat trick or remove them. All of a sudden, you blow them out. It doesn't take much to
upgrade your 2-drop into a 3-drop.
Yeah. Putting this also on any random good 2/2, some of those legendaries that we saw. Just turns it into, or a 1/1 or a 2/1 turns it into something that is just that bit harder to kill because you don't get those easy.
It's a semi-counter spell for Prodigal Sorcerer as well for the Kyle card. So it's like a bunch of like deal 1 damages, right?
Exactly,
This is a counter spell for that where you can actually protect your 2/1 that's valuable, like your Mike Swan. Like let's say you've got your 4 mana Mike Swan and they've got Prodigal Sorcerer, well you can find a spot where you can actually make that a 3/2 and get away from that
just the repeatable, easy.
There's room for this, right?
Yep. Next up.
I'm getting all the good ones.
Nice.
This is one of the ones that I spent a fair bit of time laughing at on the weekend. This is Gary's Magic Hole, one colourless
Can I have this on my Highlander?
Yeah.
One colourless, tap it, sacrifice it. Gary's Magic Hole, exile target card in the graveyard, draw a card. 7 mana, colourless mana, tap it, sacrifice. Gary's Magic Hole, exile target permanent. I'll quickly start with the flavour first, which is brilliant. One time years ago when Gary was playing a lot of MTGO, Modern in particular, he's gone on the chain, he's all excited, I've gone 5-0, it's been printed on the Wizards website, post the link, doesn't say anything else, we all click the link, we're looking through the deck, and then I realise his username is Gary's Magic Hole. If you know anything about Gary, he loves to blur the line between innuendo and normal stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that art is just...
That's so good.
I could not stop laughing. Gary's Magic Hole is better than it appears, and there's a few reasons.
Could not agree more, yep.
It's one of those cards that was going around later in the draft, probably later than it should have in the first place. I've seen this kind of ability on cards before in past sets, and it's been very largely dependent on playability on the type of set it's in. This is a slower set. You've got the first ability is useful in some circumstances because we've got some reanimate themes and a few other things. But the second ability is one of those elegant abilities that actually takes care of some of the Jono Presents cards, for instance. It's a really elegant way of dealing with that. And yeah, I played one in my deck, and I was pretty happy every time I played it. There's not a lot you want to be doing in certainly the first turn, and it's not the kind of deck set you're going to be punished if you don't play a 2-drop. So even playing a Gary's Magic Hole on 2-drop isn't the worst thing in the world. I think what you'll find is this card will be assessed a little bit better as the set goes on. I don't think it'll ever be a super high pick, but I think it's better than it appears on paper.
Yeah, one of the reasons I think, and because this was played against me by you, and I didn't realise how good that second effect is. I had one in my sideboard and I just put it into my main deck and was like, no, that is actually really good, because it seems like the games you're winning and losing are always because of one card. So there's a lot of like filler around that might be staring at each other, but there's that one card that just puts them over the top. Any of those, that we've talked about a few of them in the last few videos. And this card having the ability to completely remove that from the game, sure, it costs 7. Like, it's not going to happen straight away. You're not going to do that. It's for a while the card's not doing anything. But as soon as they remove that one critical piece of the infrastructure that your whole board's based on, it just falls apart completely for you. And then you lose, and you're like, wow, having an ability to just remove something that I thought couldn't easily be removed, it turns out that's actually seemingly really good.
And the beautiful thing about this set, sorry if I'm waffling on, is one of the great things Swanee has avoided doing is we're not having a bunch of cards in this set with stupid ETB effects where if you kill them off, you're still way behind, like what a lot of modern sets have done with some of the mythics. Even I think the Jono Presents cards from memory, once you get rid of them, it's not the end of the world. Like, there's no stupid ETBs. I might be wrong, but I think
Behemoth just gives you a +1/+1 human.
Yeah, so often you can just kind of play your one-off removal cards like a Gary's Magic Hole, and you're not way behind or anything like you would be in a modern Magic set. Hard for you to talk about in the sense of comparing other cards in the set because you're kind of judging them on a vacuum, Trent. But what do you think about this card?
Yeah, it again, like 7's tons. 7's so much mana for this effect. And this is typically a card that is very modern, even not in modern set design, but even in like Kanzataki earlier stages than that, like you would really struggle to find this to put Gary's Magic Hole in a deck, because like it kind of like it's either a cycler or you're holding on for 7 mana. 7 mana is a lot. 7 mana is a lot.
Yeah.
Especially like we did see in the rares and the mythics. Sorry,
Legendaries.
the multicolored cards, the legendaries, that there was a fair bit of like ways to produce mana.
Yep.
Which is nice with this. And if that's as you speak to, like, the House of Cards is all built on like your busted card or a bunch of your busted cards, and it's always nice to have this. It does grease the wheels, like, There's not like, and as you said, Hoodie, we doesn't feel like people have worked out the aggressive decks yet. So it greases the wheels by allowing you to hit your land drops in the early stage. Can counteract some of the stuff that your opponent's doing, or like some reanimation stuff. It's all a bunch of little nice things. But I, as I said with the Sutcliffe thing, so you have to beat me with this to show me that it's worth putting in my deck, because I would struggle to find a spot for this, because this doesn't feel like the power level is there. Like on a face level, like in a vacuum.
Yeah.
So if I look at this and it's like, this is not like this might be the 23rd card.
Yeah.
This isn't the 17th card.
And I think that
could be the 17th card.
Yeah.
And I think that's certainly what people were thinking about in terms of how late it was going. Whether or not it gets better, time will tell.
Yeah. Once you just get into that kind of mid to late game, though, if your opponent has one of these just sitting there, it does warp the way you play. It's like,
that is,
put that out there.
But that is also a downside to this as well, is that the information's face up.
Yeah.
So I don't actually have to play my if I know that Gary's Magic Hole is sitting there, I can just not play it.
Yes.
And then the game can progress. And yeah, sure. If you can put me in a position where you have used, so because it's cylindrical, right? Gary's Magic Hole is one card. It's on the battlefield, but my card is in my hand. So you've actually the resource exchange is the same. The only thing that is different is that I know that you have that.
Yes.
So I actually don't have to play my card unless the board state tells me you will never cast Gary's Magic Hole because you will never get 7 mana, or my board state is better than yours. So you're actually just like the information there dictates that you actually just don't have to play the card, which does make this card a lot worse.
Yes, absolutely.
And I guess when you look at the first ability, it does say exile target card in the graveyard, not up to one target card.
Yep.
So you can't necessarily
just
cycle it from the get-go.
You need something to go for. Which can be a problem.
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
Yeah, it's funny that you have the same similar kind of evaluation though. Mine was very similar to kind of that very skeptical, like it just kept going around the table, so I put one in my sideboard. I think I had one in my sideboard, even one in my deck.
This card is the perfect card to have with Rob's card.
Yeah, exactly right.
Sure.
Exile card, grab card.
Yeah.
This is what you want.
Yeah, that's what
I think for mine it was kind of my 22nd or 23rd card, and I was like, I have to play this, I guess. And it turned out to be a little bit better than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, it's a prime 23rd card.
Yeah, no,
you can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, certainly I don't think either is sitting here saying, oh my god, you wait till this thing hits the battlefield, you just lose. Yeah. But it really, like when...
You're not going to feel good.
No.
7 mana exile your permanent. Like that. That's terrible.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
For a raid on a card, it's not good.
Not at all.
That's well below rate of any removal spell you would ever play in any format, with the exception of like Battle for Zendikar, which had the Scour from Existence, which was literally exactly that.
Yes.
But that was one of the slowest formats of all time.
Yeah.
So,
and if anything, just seeing that high cost, that 7 as well, it just makes me think how ridiculous that cost to unequip Dickhead Hat is at 8.
Yeah.
Just to unequip someone else's hat. Like that should just be 5 or less even.
Sure.
Like if it's actually that card gets really fun, I think if the effect is really high and the cost is really low. To unequip it, because you're just constantly trying to put it back on. Get the Dickhead Cat back on, and they're just constantly
put that on.
Just keep taking it off. Yeah, exactly. Gary's Magic Hole, that's great. And then we obviously told the story of that.
Alright, we got the Go card. We got the Swanee himself. Artifact vehicle, 4 mana for a 3/3 flying. First strike, haste trample, crew 1. It's a great photo. It's where's our
first strike?
Another
Another
Phillip Island pick and reference.
It was waiting in the waiting
lobby,
zone in the lobby.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be good in some matchups for sure. 4 mana, it plays defense really well. Like 3/3 first strike is good in a slower format because crew 1's good. I mean, it's actually it's got haste as well, so you know it's 4 mana. It's not too bad. It's probably you're probably happy to play this in your aggressive decks for sure. Yeah, actually.
I think
The
that's
more I think about it, I think it's the issue. The issue that you're running with this one is that 4 mana. So the turn it comes into play, it actually might not have a clean attack because you can't represent anything with it. Like you don't have pump spell, you can't do anything else because your mana's all tapped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which could lead to being double blocked and being traded down on mana.
Yep.
Which leads me to think that it's just fine. It's just okay. I would like this a lot more if it was a 4-3. If this was a 4-3, you're really, really cooking.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just fine. I'm not interested. This isn't a premium card. I would not put a premium on this.
Yep.
If I'm in the aggressive deck, I'm going to be happy to take it. But if I was to compare this to the Scooter, it is not close. Like this is much further behind the Scooter in terms of like playability.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if that trample was vigilance, that would be sweet.
I think it's
Oh,
off by.
if that was vigilance, no, it's a good pack.
Exactly.
It's definitely a trample.
Yeah.
I think it's off by 1 for a few reasons for me in terms of I'd love it to have 1 extra power. I'd like it to, fun that, I'd like to have 1 extra toughness to get away from a sports injury or one of the lightning bolts.
Yeah, you keep referencing sports injury. That's also true.
Clean removal spells real good.
Or if it was 1 less to cast, I'd be really happy with it. So just slightly off for mine. But
just a little bit low.
Yeah.
Fine, but not great.
Yeah.
Great photo though. One of them ones where you just want to play because it's Mike. And
Yeah, it's
go card.
Swanee. Yeah.
All right, next up we've got the Great Attractor. It costs 5. It's a legendary artifact creature horror. Pay 4 and tap it. Exile another target permanent until the Great Attractor leaves the battlefield. You can keep exiling stuff under this.
Yeah.
You could just another target permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's stuff. That's cracked.
You're
Exile their
right.
lands every turn. Yeah,
You
we
got
got
there.
that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Sorry to jump in. This might be the leader for the most boring first pick of the set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely a first pick. I mean, it just gets better if you can somehow keep it out. If you can protect it. I don't know if there's a cheap way to protect, give indestructible or something, or no, I don't think it's hex. There's ward.
I'm actually relieved it's a creature.
Yeah. There's
yeah.
no way.
Dies to sports injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even if it does,
Yeah.
there's no way you could ever pass this card.
I mean, here's the thing: with these kinds of cards, this kind of effect, when you can do when it stipulates you can do a land, because you just take the black or the white land that you know is what their removal
if they're screwed,
is in.
if they're in trouble, the game's over.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
or it's just the color that their removal is in. You know,
This is just
like
turn 5 and my land is a great attractor. And you play something, you're like, yeah, cool. Draw a card, let go.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I'm dead. Like, yeah, you are.
Yeah. That's right. You're not getting out of this.
Yeah. You just play your lands.
Yep.
Exile anything.
Yep.
Exile anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
yeah.
you kill it. Okay, cool. The game resumes. At least the stuff comes back.
Yes.
There's another target parent until the Great Attractor leaves the battle. There's a combo there where you can exile something and then ephemerate it, I believe.
Oh yeah.
You could do the parallax wave and exile your own creatures and then have them all come back whenever you want them to.
So you can. I mean, it taps. So it's I'm probably overselling it. It's not the most.
It's not parallax wave.
It's not an S plus card, but it's just like it's going in every day. Again, we've touched on the formats. You've touched on the format slow. It's just like I don't know. There's not much to talk about.
Absolutely
right?
brutal.
And it's colourless. You can play any deck.
It's colourless. Yeah, that's right. It's just unless you're trying to kill your opponent.
I just love this as well. Leonard terrifies Jono with a 15-minute explanation of the horrors of the cosmos. Hey, Jono, want to know what I've been watching videos about? In reference to watching 3 a.m. videos, part of YouTube that he probably shouldn't be hanging out on at 3 a.m. And Jono constantly trying to change the topic every time he brings up these fucked up videos.
He does link some weird stuff to Leo that blows my mind.
He's a curious kitten. All right.
Right. It's my turn, isn't it? Industrious Landscaper, 3 colours for a 1/2 artifact creature construct. When Industrious Landscaper enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And the flavor text is when your shovel is not enough. This is a classic card which I've seen in many sets over the years.
Skittering Surveyor.
This is in very, very early days, the kind of set that you're quite happy to play a third or even possibly a fourth card. Once again, very early days. I don't think you can go wrong with this card, and it gets better the slower the format it is. So, provided the format doesn't suddenly increase in aggression, I think a lot of decks are going to be happy to play this card.
Yep. Yeah. Yep, it was the best common in Dominaria.
Yep.
When it was reprinted, it was a fine reprint. The power level had increased dramatically, but it was still a fine card to play. There's no way you can go wrong.
Yeah, fixes your mana and its colours.
It's colours. That's the kicker. It's
colours. Yeah, that's right.
It's a very, very safe pick. You're always happy to play it.
Yep.
Yeah, attacks and blocks, whatever.
Yeah, it's the kind of card. I think these types of cards are the ones where you play it, you end up winning the game, and you don't really realise that it was because you were able to get the red mana that you needed to do all of the other stuff. And that was this card that enabled.
It's like you're green black. You've got 2 landscapers, and then you open Nathan's Bomb Rare.
Yeah.
The green red card.
Yep.
Like, oh, cool, I'll take that.
Yeah.
And it's because you free rolled 3 mountains in your deck because of this card. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't really like this card in set design that much because it's a little too free.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was nice. Not so much in Dominaria because Dominaria was a 2 color based set. I'm trying to think of when it was
Was there one in Kaldheim or whatever? Or?
No, it wasn't Kaldheim. It was in modern set design. I'm struggling for the set that it was in, but that set was a lot faster, and so it pushed this card down a lot because you actually got punished for the 1/2 body for 3 mana because it wasn't good enough.
Sure.
And the 6th, 7th land or whatever wasn't necessarily required.
Okay.
Obviously that's not what's going on, like from what I'm hearing from you guys and what's been said in the chat. That's not what's going on here. So that isn't going to suffer. Like the Industrious Landscaper isn't going to suffer from that. Yeah. But I kind of liked the move of like, oh, this was the best because just to go in a little bit more because it was actually really interesting. It was like when Dominaria was out, it was the best common in the set, and you couldn't punish it. But Wizards, as they created set design and made the sets faster, they then put this back in and they said, all right, try it again. And people were like, whoa, Skittering Surveyor's been reprinted. This is the best common in the set. It was like, oh, you put Skittering Surveyor in your deck, you lose.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's actually not that good.
Yeah.
Because all my 2/2s are 3/2s and all my 1/1s are 2/2s with haste or whatever. And it's just like awesome.
Yeah.
Love the fact they moved away from that.
Yeah. So. You got it in one. In some of the newer sets, you drop this, the opponent's dropping 4/4 or something aggressive.
3 mana, 3/3 that's just
and then all of a sudden, wow, you got an extra land in your hands, you can't drop enough land to play your removal spells. Get yourself in this situation, so you're way behind. But this is going to be a much slower set, I dare say, just by the fact that it's designed in mind with maybe a 10-year-old kind of set power level in mind. So
it's great.
I think you're going to find this is a great card.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome flavor once again. Classic faction meme made when Alex was tearing up his backyard. So the old Minecraft, I think, reference there.
Yeah. Love that. Alright.
We've got the jank box.
Go.
4 mana, legendary artifact cube. Tap, put a jank counter on target permanent. It gains this ability. Okay? It gains the ability to put a jank counter on target permanent. Tap, add Wooburg. Activate only if all permanents you control have a jank counter. Okay, so turn 4.
Yep. This is where maths.
I have 4 lands in play.
Yes.
I play the jank box.
Yep.
I tap the jank box. And I put a counter on itself because it doesn't start with one.
Yes.
Gains its ability.
That's right.
Untap. Turn 5. I tap the jank box. I put a counter on the land. It gains its ability. Then I tap the next this and put it on that.
Yes.
Then I put it on that. So you can actually play a 5th land. So turn 6, you can have 5 lands in play and the jank box, all that tap for Wooburg, so you can have 30 mana on turn 6.
No.
You need to have it activate only if all permanents you control have a jank counter.
Yep.
So you'd need to.
But they don't gain.
Oh, they don't gain the ability. No.
This is dog shit.
Oh no! Hang on.
No.
It's not dog shit.
But you can't play. You got to stop playing lands.
No. But
every time you play land,
but you don't.
It's another turn.
But you don't, because as soon as you. So let's say let's go
Oh,
back.
they all.
Yeah, because they can all tap.
Oh, it's like a virus.
So let's say turn 4.
That's sick.
We play it. Turn 5, we put counters on everything, and we can do the land.
Yeah.
Turn 6.
The land's got the ability too.
You have so the jank box is Wooburg, and you will have all your lands that have that just are lands.
Yeah.
So you've taken 1 turn off, 2 turns off, 1 to play it, then the second. So 4, 5.
Yep.
Yes, that's a lot.
Mm.
But then you have Wooburg plus your lands.
But that's assuming that you haven't played any other cards besides the.
Well, you can use the lands from turn 6 to put jank counters on them.
Yep.
So yes, you were down on mana because you have to tap your lands to put the jank counters on them.
It does catch up really quick
but
with itself. Yeah.
You get to tap this for Wooburg, which will catch you up immediately, or very close to, because yes, you take turn 5 off, but then you tap this and you put a 5-drop into play. Let's say hypothetically.
Yeah.
And then the next turn, the lands pay for the.
Yeah.
I'm cooking.
No.
You know
Exactly. No, I know what you mean.
But you probably.
I don't know what you actually do with all that mana.
Faction champion.
Well, yeah, that's the obvious.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Faction
champion.
Yeah, the guy with the jocks coming in.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot. I mean, but this is exactly what this card should be. It's a lot of dicking around to get a potentially good combo going.
You better believe you do not want to pass me this card.
Okay.
If you pass me this card, you're in for some fucking pain.
All right.
This card is unreal, and it might be unreal shit.
Yeah. Well,
but my god, this exciting. This
that's a good one. It excites me the thought of me curving out and someone dropping a jank box, tapping all their things to put counters on their own cards while I'm just sitting there attacking. But
I love that. I love the simplicity of that. That just it gains this ability because it's
so cool,
not immediately obvious until you think about it. And you're like, oh yeah, no, because they're all doing that to each other, and that's really cool.
Everything just turns into jank.
Yeah, I love it.
That's a fantastic
Jank 'em
design.
out, yeah.
Whether or not it's good or not, it's a fantastic original.
I'm gonna put my foot on
Stake
it. I'm
your
gonna
claim
say
on
this
that
card is a bomb.
Yeah. You're gonna.
And you know what? This is the kind of set we're gonna draft 400 times or whatever, and there's gonna be times where you just want to be janking it up.
If the format is slow.
Here's how this card plays out.
I know how it plays.
Turn 4,
Go
you do the thing. Turn 5, you keep trying to do it. Turn 6, you catch up and finally do all the things, and then they just disenchant it.
Yeah, maybe. Look, maybe. But if
Got
they
a bunch
don't,
of jank shit everywhere, nothing to do with it.
You know what? If he wins with it, it's worth every time it's failed.
Oh, 100%, yeah. There's many
I'm
cards.
gonna put you in the bin.
Yes, you're gonna put me in the box.
Put you in the jank box.
Yeah. There's many cards that I just look at and I'm like, I'm gonna see someone win a fucking hilarious game one day with that card.
So this is above the Sullivan thing where it's like someone needs to be with it. Nah, I'm putting my foot on it.
You need to be the one to do it. Yeah.
This is mine.
You need to read the written flavour things. It's perfect as to what we're
Makes you
talking
put way too much thought into something overcomplicated, just like the real jank box cube. Just like my fucking Highlander deck for next weekend.
Exactly. Yeah, just sit there spinning wheels.
That is my card. I love that card.
Yeah.
That is so good.
I'm sure Swanee's going to love our discussion.
Shout out.
And just be like, going, yes.
Oh, yeah, for real, yeah.
The best part, I actually like the opposite of that too. It's like, actually, we talk about something or we have a conversation about something. It's like, oh, actually, I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah, well this is the thing. I mean, we know this effect, obviously the hive mind and the effect that it's had on modern magic. You know, in a global sense. Even just doing these videos, everyone thinking about it, playing some of these drafts out, this deck's just gonna this set is just gonna evolve and evolve and evolve until there are probably gonna be some really.
We've got some drafts lined up at Champs at Invitational.
Invitational is probably going to be a day 2 format, like not part of the actual Invitational, but a big part of the day 2 festivities. Also, on a side note, I don't know if you touched upon what you were saying, but what's really cool about doing set review for this is no one in the world's done a set review. So it's not like we've listened to LSV talk about it. We are talking about these cards in a relative vacuum, or pretty much a vacuum. And we've got nothing to go by besides.
That's right.
Only our experience.
And some of these cards, you're trying to literally figure them out on the spot. Well, once they get kind of really figured out, it'll be cool to see what if there is one, what the deck is to be playing if you want to be winning. Because I just don't think anyone has got any idea just yet. I'm sure someone's sitting there.
I'm absolutely loving this because I'm a limited junkie. And I just used to I used to just eat all the information. I don't do it as much anymore. But just having this and using this script because this is this is how they've done it, like set reviews and stuff. So doing this, but being literally the first people to do this and have our perspective, but because I'm sitting here and it's challenging me as well to think about the card. Seeing it from the perspective of this is the way that Swanee's put it the Faction Champs trophy. I can see it from a flavor perspective. It's a 12 out of 10. It's unreal. But then on a player perspective and how it challenges me, and then how I would go about it. Same with the Landscaper, right? Where that's come from, how it's evolved. I'm loving this. This is so much fun.
There's definitely a funny trend that I'm noticing where we're all going after evaluating every card, talk about the card, and then go, but if it had this, it'd be really cool because it's got that element of it's surreal. Someone we know just made it, so you kind of start thinking, maybe I could make a little change here or there,
No way, don't change a damn thing. You're perfect the way you are.
All right, here we got lime. It costs 2. It's an artifact food. Kicker. Correctly guess the name of a card from its flavor text.
Oh, I love that.
Use the random card feature on Scryfall. Oh, so this must be referencing an actual Magic card. Lime enters the battlefield tapped. If it was kicked, untap it. You can tap it, add green. Lime deals 1 damage to you. Enters the battlefield tapped. It was kicked, untap it. Kicker is correctly. Guess the name.
So if you don't do the correct guess, it just comes into play tapped.
So what are we comparing this to? Because talismans, which will tap for 2 different types of mana and do the 1 damage, or you can tap it for things obviously kind of the baseline for a 2 mana rock that isn't mana positive.
Is it the Mirage rocks it's based on besides the 1 damage, basically the 2 mana? Can tap as a green mana effect. Can't remember if it's moss something or whatever.
Yeah, moss diamond.
Yeah.
Yep, it certainly is.
With a downside.
Yep. Fire diamond, moss diamond. Those
but they don't have the do 1 damage to you.
No, they just have come into play tabs.
Exactly.
But it's just added if you
it's the do 1 damage. It makes this cool. Because normally you're paying that 1 damage, and with the talisman you don't mind so much because
if you also read the text,
go ahead. You
the gameplay during a Grand Prix trip where you had to guess the name of a card from its flavor text, and if you didn't get it right, you had to eat a lime. I think Leonard got people to play this at the last Invitational as well. So that's where the damage comes from.
I love that.
I think the damage also came because I was there when it first happened at GP Brisbane, I think in 2017. At some stage later on in the night, they just started piffing limes at one another, and that could also be
more damage there. Yeah, for sure.
So odds, if you have to use the random card feature on Scryfall, odds of guessing a card from flavor text, I would put it probably 1%.
I'll try it.
I would love to try it. I would love to try it. Yeah, where's the phone? I don't have one here. Hang on.
But just on the maths thing, how many
you talk about? Yeah.
We're talking about thousands of Magic cards ever printed. Yeah. Probably something like 10,000.
I'll see if I can guess.
All right, here we go. Scryfall. Yeah, we'll do this so everyone can see it live. All right, we're going to go random card. And the flavor text is, they help ensure that the forges of the dwarves are always squeaky clean.
Bottom rooms?
Nah, kind of not the worst guess, to be honest. This is. I'm going to put this at like a 1%.
Oh, nice.
I'm really nice.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so
Fairly
odds from a
recent
random
series,
card are, well, it's not going to have one, but yeah, this is not going to be. I think you're never going to get this. I hear there are
you get that
bears
one.
or spirits that guard. No, I'll never get that in a million
Not all of them,
years. Spectral bears.
It's gonna be
there you
tough.
go.
It's gonna be real tough.
Yeah, but you're a genius if you do.
Yeah, so that,
I mean,
or you may just get lucky. You know, you get the soul of the world has reawakened or whatever progenitors. It's
Sure.
like, yeah, baby, the best flavor
Sure.
text of
But the
all
question is,
time.
how much better is it if it does come into play?
Yeah, not a
untapped?
whole lot.
So we're not really talking about much
Just a
of
good game to
downside.
play.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Just a game of Shaharazad on the side.
Yep.
I think flavor, like set design flavor perspective from Mike on one of these is I can imagine. I mean, this to me, I haven't seen another mana rock other than some creature ones that kind of have other, like, you know, the Tim Sheriff where you have to mill a card. I think he purposely seems to be putting this whole thing together in a way that fast mana and mana ramp in this sense just isn't easy to do. There's always a drawback. I don't think he wants you out there making some kind of artifact deck that's going to blast through to 10 mana on turn 5 or something.
You mean the Jackbox?
Well, I guess that's why that's a mythic rare.
You have to put a count on this bad boy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
This allows you to get it out.
But,
of
well, I guess
Straight
with the
trouble.
Jankbox,
You put Jackbox in the play on turn 3, it is over.
yeah,
Good
exactly.
night,
Yeah,
sweet
yeah,
friends.
exactly.
We don't see many mana rocks, particularly at 2 mana in limited
No,
sets.
too powerful.
It's
That's so
It's
good.
too
Yeah, of
powerful.
course. Yeah,
it's
insane.
pretty damn good for me. What do you think?
Yeah, this card's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, this card's great.
Yeah.
I mean, if you reference it, if you watch the one before this, I talked about Sheriff to Tim Sandman, the Sheriff card, right? It's like tap to add a colourless mana. It's like, yeah, card's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that has the downside of being dice removal or whatever. There's an artifact, it's hard to remove. Deals damage to you every time, but it's slow format, doesn't matter.
Yeah. You can't give
and it's
up
green.
rolls.
It's green, so it fixes you. So you can be faction champs
Yeah.
and not play any green, but this is your green.
Yeah.
Or this is an addition to green.
Yep. I think very, very good. Play it if you get it. Uncommon.
Oh, is this me?
Yeah, this is you.
I get all the
It's
good
gotta
ones.
be there.
Okay. Marshmallow. 0 cost artifact food. Sacrifice marshmallow. Tap target creature. It does not untap in its controller's untap step. When marshmallow is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, gain 3 life. I'm just going to quickly read the flavour privately. Okay, I don't know if I want to read that out, but
I think it's got to be one of the more famous reasons to read,
look,
right?
I'll only say about the flavour that the Ball trip was epic. Everyone we had there was epic. We all had an absolute blast, particularly the Saturday night.
I mean, the picture pretty much gives away the story. So that's Dom's ass right there, and you can just imagine the rest of it. Sacrifice it to... Okay, so tap something down after you sack it. Costs 0 though. And then when it's put in the graveyard, you may pay 2 if you gain 3 life. That seems like it's very dependent on the kind of deck you're playing and what you want to be doing. Sideboard for sure. I don't think that's going in any main deck, is it? Like, tapping down stuff I've come to realise is really good. Like, that's an effect that for a long time I thought was really, really bad. One of the best parts of that, the Hoodie predicts snow, is that second part of the saga where you tap 2, like, you just tap their best 2 things down and they're just losing the game. Like, it's really hard to come back from that.
But those things untap, right?
They untap the next turn. Yeah,
This
they don't untap.
This doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't untap. No, I don't think they... Oh, maybe they do, maybe they do.
It does not untap in its controller's untap steps.
No, I know that this one doesn't, but I'm wondering if that's the same text.
The other one, the other ones.
It just taps them out for that turn.
Yeah,
Okay,
they untap the next one.
Yeah, so these ones are doing for that extra amount of
So
time.
this is 0 mana sword splashes.
Well, I mean, it's just not.
Why
Like,
not?
the creature untaps eventually.
It does not untap in its controller's untap step. It does not untap in its controller's untap. Never untaps.
Yeah, I think it's a card that's probably going to be a run.
No, I think that must be written right.
Oh, that's what it says on the card. Read the card explains the card, right?
But if this is no longer saying that, no, how does that work? It's put
Just doesn't
put
untap.
the ability.
It tells me. It doesn't untap. It does not untap in its controller's untap step. You play an Elvish Mystic, I play Marshmallow. I sacrifice Marshmallow, target your Elvish
And
Mystic.
never untap.
It does not untap. It is 0 mana Sword Splashes.
I'm just going to go.
This card's
insane. Yeah, well, this is okay.
Yeah, there you go.
It's insane to the point that it needs to be.
It's an A+.
Yeah.
This is the best card in the set.
Yeah.
Let's
so
go.
I'm reading this the way
fine.
I'm sure that he's meant this to do. I'm going to have a look through here and see if this has been Cinderella. But yes, obviously that's. In that case, it's not even a sword spell. It's better. It's the greatest removal spell of all time.
Well, you can untap it. You can untap the creature.
Sure.
Well, you play your own lens. I'll have a look.
Well, yeah, but then as soon as you tap it again, it never untaps still because it's still got effect on it.
That's correct.
In fairness, this might be the best flavour ever done with the factions. So
delicious marshmallow. Yeah. Have a look through, see if you can find it. Is it in
I think there might be a card or two.
It does not untap in its controller's untap step.
All right, Mike. We need to get Mike on the phone. So call him.
He might already know. I think there was some talk about on the weekend about possibly a Rotary card or two or the like. Here's a pop quiz for you, Trent. In all your years playing Magic, have you ever in Limited played a 0 cost spell that wasn't a mana rock or involved mana in any particular way? Have any made the cut?
Ask me.
Do you have an answer to that?
All the time. Mishra's Bauble and shit in Vintage Cube.
That's not what he's talking about.
Yeah,
I know he's not yet. It's technically limited.
I almost look at cards with 0 cost and almost breeze through it because I think there's almost no way I'm going to play it.
I can't think of any.
Yeah.
Nah.
What about
Bonesaw isn't 0 cost, is it?
Bonesaw is 0, but it doesn't do anything.
Would you have played Menmite in Scars?
Menmite in Scars, maybe, but only in extremely dire circumstances.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good. Like, it was okay, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Was there ever a limited format in which Zuranor worked in? Is that...
No. Zuranor was Ice Age originally, so I don't know if it got reprint, but no, you wouldn't have played it back then.
I can just imagine it being one of them.
Inconstructible.
There was this deck back then.
I'm trying to think of like the Masters formats.
Yeah.
Like if there's any like busted 0 cost
Was there any quick
Well, Mishra's Bauble was in...
Yeah, Bauble's the exception. Like,
yeah,
Bauble's the only one with exception.
Because it replaces itself, which is
Nah, I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
But I will be the next time I see Marshmallow.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, you better believe I'm going to be drafting 9 of these things.
If we can get them, so that's either got to be errated or it's going to be the most fought over card in the whole thing because that's
and it's common, so
it's common.
So it's errated.
Yeah. You know how we talked about that multiverse card? Don't worry about
it. Yeah. So gain 3 life and Swords to Plowshares, but they gain no life.
Actually, I better explain the flavour because it sounds a little bit less sus than what it sounded like when you said it, Dan. Hello, faction lore of Nate slipping a marshmallow down Dom's pants at Mount Ball. I don't know if it sounds better or worse than what you were saying, but
no. I'll tell you what the worst part of it was though, being in the shower in the morning and then hearing the shaver. That was the scary. Don't worry about me, guys.
Yeah. So I would imagine it says it does a next control action during its next turn. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well read. TC, it was really good.
Read the card explains.
Yeah. In that case, it really does, doesn't it?
Who is this one?
That one is your turn.
Sure.
Right.
McCain's Pizza. 2 mana artifact food. When McCain's Pizza enters the battlefield, draw a card. 2, sacrifice McCain's Pizza, gain 3 life. Tap, put an oven counter on McCain's Pizza. When McCain's Pizza has 5 or more oven counters on it, it becomes a 3/3 black disc creature with flying and menace and loses all other types of abilities. In parentheses, it's not a food.
It changes its subtype, that's great.
So it needs 5 or more counters. When it enters battlefield, draw a card. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So turn 2, play this, draw a card, and step tap. It's got a counter. So then turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. So by the end of turn 6, when we untap on turn 7, we have a 3/3 black disc creature with flying and menace that has replaced itself.
Yeah. And the 3/3 flying is...
That's actually not the worst.
With menace, I mean, that is going to be one of the...
Providing it comes into play on turn 2.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yep. But even let's say it's turn 8 and you're
Yeah.
top decking and you draw this, it's not the end of the world.
Sure, yeah, you redraws
Yeah.
you. It gives you a redraw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it replaces itself, so that's okay.
This seems like a very solid card.
Yeah, and even
Sack it and gain a bit of life if you need.
even at a pinch in really niche circumstances, that 3 life might be relevant.
Yeah, I mean the
Yes.
fact that it replaces itself it means that it's low cost.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Low cost. Something to do with your mana early, something to kill your opponent with late. Just don't miss your triggers for God's sake, because five counters is a lot.
Yeah.
And you will regret it when you're.
I do love the fact that it's got flying and menace. That is, and loses all over.
Yeah, I love
It
menace.
is not a.
I just imagine that the disc
No one wants to
flying
touch it.
out of the oven.
No one wants to touch it.
Come
You
get
remember
me.
the story, don't you, Trent?
I do not. No.
Read the.
After Mount Borbor Envy, Leonard gets a call from the manager saying that we left the oven on
Far out.
with the McCain's pizza in there that had been burnt to pure carbon. Really? I did not know that.
So he sends a photo on the faction chat
So
of
crazy.
basically this carbon black thing,
Oh my
and then I'm like, "What's that?"
Flying
And he's
disc
gone.
with menace.
Who the hell Who did it?
Did all the cooking that weekend.
Not you.
Oh,
Did you do it?
far out,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh my
I
god.
forgot to turn off the oven because in the last meal we were having, I'm just throwing pizzas.
And
in
you
the
just turned it
ovens,
off without looking?
or I must have not turned it off and just
Oh.
kind of left it on. And
Yeah,
3 days
that's-
later,
Dude, that could have been so
Yeah.
much worse than
Could've
that.
burned the place
yeah.
down.
Oh my god.
so they were originally angry.
Yeah.
In the email, and then Leo wrote such an awesome email saying, apologising, going, "We love the establishment. We'd love to stay there again."
Yeah.
And then they've gone, they've gone, "Oh, we'd love to have you back." That's how good he was with
What a
the email.
mistake, yeah.
Wow, I did not know that story.
Yeah.
Gee, that is.
Holy shit.
So it is not food. Just remember.
No, that's definitely not food. It's a black disc creature with flying around.
Yeah.
Every time I see a McCain's pizza from now on, it's black disc.
I've got to say that if anything ever comes out of an oven at a faction event, there is a really high chance that you don't want to be getting that thing in your body, because I've had some. It's just like 3 a.m. Oh, look who's crowded around the oven. Everyone's some like rotten shit coming out of the oven, half frozen, half gooey. Check out these pies. They've got ice in the
Well, you
middle
just
of them.
there's 35 people. You're just churning out
Yeah.
food.
Well, but it's not just
really
that. Also, it's that. Well, I mean, that it's like 3 a.m. and everyone's whatever,
Yeah.
and the fact that the oven is always super sketchy. Like
Yeah.
when someone else's oven, you don't know how to use it. You don't know what temperature
Yeah,
setting
that's
to put
right.
on. Just too sketchy.
Oh my god. This is
All right,
the best.
this is a sick
This
card.
is the
I mean,
best.
if you for works in your deck, NLG drive-by attack card. Cost 5. It's an artifact vehicle. Trample, haste, crew 4. It's an 8/6. Nerds.
What is this card?
So when we used to play NLG, we're on a main road,
I
right?
know. Yeah, no, I am aware of what it is. Yeah. No, I've been there a few times.
And yeah, you'd cop the occasional screaming passing by Collies nerds, which, yeah, by
That
all
is
means,
so
for
crazy.
sure.
Card
Yeah.
strong.
I played this card in my deck on the weekend. I didn't pick it as an early pick, but by the end of it, it won me almost all my games.
Yeah, this card's absurd.
Yeah. 8/6
This card's-
trample.
This card's probably
Yeah.
overstated.
And I wasn't.
It
not a-
felt like it. When Hoody
Yeah,
hit me
I'm
with
not
it, I was
a
like,
huge
hang on a second, that
fan.
feels so much like it's
Yeah.
not.
And
the
keep in
same
mind, I
league.
was playing a blue-red spells deck where I wasn't playing like creatures on curve with massive powers.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was dropping a 4/4 turn 3 and then no, I was still having to tap a bunch of creatures and it was still just winning me.
Yeah, I'm actually just this one's probably too good.
It seems
I
like it
think
would
this is way
even be
too
good if it
That's
was
kind
like a 6/8 or a 6/6.
I mean,
It's still good.
it blocks insane. It
Oh,
ends the
yeah.
game in 2 turns. Crew 4, I feel like this should be like crew 8.
Yeah, it's
You're also having to absolutely at a bare minimum double block it if you don't
Yeah,
block
it's
it,
a 2 for 1,
which
or you
leaves
need
you open
removal.
to being like two
even
for
when you
one.
double block it, the trample is just still taking damage. though.
Yeah, I mean it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Drive by attack card. Yeah, I think the crew cost might be
Yeah,
too easy for this
yeah.
one.
I
Yeah.
tend to it.
Now, this is just such a high pick.
It seems like this is almost like standard playable, right? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or maybe not now. I don't know now. Maybe it even still is now. I'm thinking like 5 or 6 years ago standard. Like when
This card is
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's colorless.
Imagine this in the top
Sorry,
curve.
common.
Imagine this just in the curve of like a mono red deck,
Well,
like
yeah.
a red white aggressive
Yeah.
deck or whatever. Like this is, you're not getting around this.
No,
you're not
no,
getting.
no.
This thing
Yeah.
dominates the ground. It's bigger than almost every card in every format.
It doesn't die to almost anything.
Yeah,
because
the removal
it's got
doesn't get
6.
it because it's got 6 toughness.
Yeah, that's right.
There's also a black common called is it Maverick or Maverick Hood or whatever, which is a 2
your own
drop.
card?
Yeah,
Yeah, you remember that one?
2/2 drop where it crews as its power is 2 more.
Oh wow!
So crew for 4 from turn 2.
Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, there's
a 4/4 for 4 that's really easy to cast. The one with mulch on it.
I think the fact that what was that classic? I think it was a common artifact crew card.
Runaway Steam Train or Runaway.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
dominated
exactly
the format.
That's exactly where I was going with this. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
utterly
the
dominated
4
the
mana 3/3 that when you crewed an attack, you got a
Getting
counter.
bigger, yeah.
Impossible to stop.
Yeah.
Couldn't block
Yeah.
it. This is worse.
Yeah.
This is so
Yeah.
much worse.
Haste and trample is
Well, I mean,
baffling, isn't
you
it?
think
Yeah.
of the rampaging Carnosaur, like the 5 mana 5/5 ham. Like, just your your Lavrax typical creature. Like even like Glowbringer or whatever, right? It's like they're coming in for 5, 4. It's like, geez, that's a clock. This thing's 8.
Yeah.
And you can't really block it.
No, and
and
it just
if they
comes
set up-
barreling in.
And if they set up to block it,
Yeah.
then you get the 2 for 1. And if you think they have removal, you just don't activate it.
Yeah.
Because
But
you
I
don't
think-
need to.
Even, I had like a big creature. I think it might have been the Fabian where he's riding the motorbike, the 4/2. And I think why I beat you in a game was because you played this, went to attack, but I had to block with a 4/2 and
And
then
sports injury.
use the sports injury.
Yeah, great. So 2
Yeah.
for 1,
Yeah.
and you still took
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you're
to
not
40
taking
exactly.
much,
Yeah.
This is I would either upgrade this to rare or reduce the stats.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out in the short term. In the short term, if we're playing, we might see the usage of more like Chiss Chance and cards that target artifacts.
Chiss
So main board.
Chance.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Just a more.
Chiss and
Oh,
Chance.
Chiss and Chan. Yeah.
That's
That is
the
a
classic,
card, yeah.
the
Yeah.
classic
Yeah.
Chiss
Yeah.
picture of him with the.
With
The nuts.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure Clank
Because it's him
destroys.
destroying the artifact.
Yeah, and Clunk destroys. Is it not? No, it couldn't be an artifact or a vehicle because
I think
an
it
artifact
was.
is a vehicle.
Yeah,
An artifact is a vehicle.
It was like,
No, this-
yeah,
Yeah.
destroy target artifact or like creature with flying or something.
That might have been how I got you actually when you cast this as well. Maybe it was in 2 games that I was able to deal with it. The other one
Jesus,
was
try
Clunk.
play attack cards.
Yeah.
Great flavour.
Yeah.
That art. That
It
is.
looks
I'm
like
pretty
my
sure that looks exactly like NLG used to look like.
Yeah.
It's very similar. NLG, the
Car also
yeah,
looks
the-
like my car.
Yeah.
There's a world in which that is me.
Yeah.
This is not. It would not be beyond me like
Oh,
young
no.
nerds, but also in a
exactly.
like not a demeaning way. I miss you guys.
Here we go.
Right.
Here we go.
They got Papa, Keeper of the Workshop. 2 mana, 1/1. Legendary artifact creature construct. It's rare, and it is a workshop.
Yeah.
Taps for 3 colors. Spend this mana only to cast artifact spells.
I think this was one of the first cards he spoiled. I remember. I was like, wow, that's sick.
Yeah.
But I don't think,
Is there many others?
from what I understand, it's actually just not that great. There's not enough artifacts. You just don't
excuse
have
me.
them. Well, you get
Jank
them right
box.
by shooting out.
Jank box.
Yeah.
Turn
Oh,
one,
Jank box,
turn
of
two this.
course.
Put that jank box out. We're going.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going.
It's a thing. Being that it's rare, you're probably very rarely going to see it.
No, opposite.
Why is that?
Opposite, because no one wants it.
Oh, so it keeps going around?
Yeah, so it'll go around.
Yeah. Yep,
So if
yep.
you want it, you'll
Yep.
get it. If it's
Yep.
open in the set, you'll get this.
Yes, much
And
like a real
this-
Mishra's Workshop.
Yep. And
Yes.
it will be insane.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
deck that
exactly.
this plays with, this is the best, if not the second or third best card you'll have.
Okay, yeah.
But outside of that, it's completely unplayable.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got here Papak's vanity card, reference to his love of big mana decks and amazing vintage card collection.
Yeah, it's so sick, dude.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
I love that. I actually love that.
Oh, nice.
All right, we've got Pickleback Shot. One colorless mana, artifact equipment. Equipped creature has tap. Pickleback Shot deals 1 damage to each player.
Yes,
Tap, you gain 1 life. Equip 1 colorless, and I need to say this right. Pickleback, 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 etc., etc. Yeah, equipped creature has.
Yeah, well, this is that. You know, one of these machine guns that just makes it so easy to deal.
What a fun card.
Yeah, Mike loves cards like this.
What
He
a
loves machine guns.
fun card.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he loves
great.
the machine guns.
Great.
Could you ever see a world in which you'd play it though?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep. Super aggro deck.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think this deck, this card could. Is it an uncommon? It is an uncommon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
so that he's tempered that probably well, because there's a world in which like you could have 2 of these, and you know, like it's you set up a thing where it's like, yep, deal 2 to both, there's 2 to both, there's 2 to both, there's 2 to both, and it's like, I'll gain 1, you take 1, I get 1, you take 1.
It's great in a deck with that Tristan where you can equip this to Tristan and it equips to another creature as well, and then you got 2 machine guns.
Same thing
keep it
again
on
with
and
like
over.
something like this with the. I keep coming back to that Kleinen card,
Mm,
that
mm.
done tap. Like I know this isn't much of an effect, but it is an effect.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very
I mean, it turns it into an effect that kills now their 2 toughness creatures.
Yep.
And of course, the flavor text refers to someone always tries to make everyone drink picklebacks. You don't get the downside if you tip yours out. And on a quick side note, I remember these guys going on and on about these shots for ages.
What is a pickleback?
So it literally is just a shot of pickle juice and a shot of whiskey, is it?
I think
Or
so.
bourbon?
Yeah,
It's a whiskey or a bourbon, I think.
Have you had one?
No, fuck that.
I had one because we went out to a restaurant and heard them crap on about this for years, and I'm like,
I have heard many a thing. I've just never.
And I thought maybe like a bit of a gin and tonic where the sum of both of its parts become weirdly really nice.
Okay.
And no, it
There's
just
no way.
tasted like pickle
Yeah,
juice
arse,
and
right?
arse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not to say that pickle juice is necessarily.
I love pickles, but even this
People
was
go crazy about
yeah,
like
even this
drinking
was,
pickle juice.
this
and
was
stuff
too
like
much
that.
for me.
Yeah, that's full on. Good card. I think it's back to me. We got pocket sausage. Cost 3. Artifact equipment food. It's a lot of food to note. There's a lot of food artifacts. Equipped creature. Equipped creature has menace and gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature. Return pocket sausage from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sacrifice 2 and tap it. Sacrifice pocket sausage. You gain 3 life, and it equips for 3. So menace and +1/+1 for each creature in your graveyard could be huge. Sacrifice a creature and return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, alright. What I think, of course, because they're all food, so they've all just got that ability to sacrifice it, gain 3 life, and equip 3. +1/+1, or multiple +1/+1s, even if it's just 2 of them, with menace is pretty sick. Makes their blocks real bad. Equipping it for 3 after you paid for 3 though, that could be good. I don't know.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
It's a very busy card.
Yeah, geez, I tell you what, there's going to be circumstances where this card is utterly insane.
Yep.
And there's going to be situations where you don't want it in your hand.
Yep.
Mm.
Build around.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
definitely build
Yep,
around.
that's yep.
Yeah, I would. This is one that will similar to the cap.
Yep.
Where we need to play the format and work out what do the colours and the archetypes support, like the mill strategy to getting creatures in your graveyard. And if you do, how good does this become? Because it reads really really powerful, but it does
Absolutely,
need
yeah.
you do need to do some legwork.
Yeah.
It's not there. It's not there for you to just take. It's not an LG drive by car. You actually have to do some
that's
work
right.
for
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
There are some incidental mill cards as far as mill on a creature cards, at least one that I can think of the top of my head. Not that it's very good anyway. Yeah.
How is this a classic faction? All the flavors.
What is the pocket
classic
sausage?
faction mean? I've
So,
never heard of it.
I occasionally drop the old pocket sausage in the chat.
I have heard of it.
I think I just more just drop it when Braden's around because I know how much he loves it.
Sure.
He's a sausage connoisseur.
Well, that's
Sneaky
right.
sausage in the pocket.
I
Yeah,
know.
I can see that.
I know he'd appreciate a pocket sausage.
Yeah.
And I've never really thought about what that would look like, but that card art shows me exactly what it would look like.
Oh, what is going on with that sausage? It's the size of the guy's arm.
Maybe it's time to get the cargo pants back in if you're going to carry around pocket sausages like that.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah, very nice. Build around, yeah.
I think we missed your turn earlier, Trent.
No, I think he got it, didn't he? He did
I did the Papa. I did Papa. Yeah, so it's back to me now.
Oh, he's back
That's
to
all
you.
right.
Yeah, sweet.
Alright, RCQ bucket hat. I don't believe I own one of these. But
wow.
0 cost artifact equipment. As long as RCQ bucket hat is attached to a creature, each other equipment you control becomes a copy of RCQ bucket hat. Okay. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 for each equipped creature you control.
That's cost 0.
Each other equipment you control becomes a copy of the bucket hat. Each creature gets +2/+2 for each equipped creature.
I reckon this could be a trap. It just reads.
So I play the bucket hat, and then I play
the one
the short sword.
Yeah,
Let's go short sword.
Yep.
And then I on turn 3, because turn 2 I play a creature.
Yep.
I play. I like they've all got bucket hats on. That's cool. Bassa in. I put the bucket hat on my 2/2.
Yep.
Quick creature gets +2/+2 for each creature you control. Okay, so it gets +2/+2. And then the next turn. Yeah, and that turns the bucket
The other
hat.
one, so it's +4/+4 they're getting now. Because for each.
No, but the other one isn't equipped yet.
Oh,
but
sure,
then
sure,
if I
okay,
do
yeah,
equip it, equipped creature gets +2/+2 for each creature you control.
So for each creature you control.
Wait. So if I play another creature...
No, for each equipped creature you control.
Creature.
So, so if you've got this and the...
So if I put 2 RCQ bucket hats on the same creature, it's getting +8/+8. For each equipped creature you control?
No, because you can't put 2 RC bucket hats on the one creature. It only
Why
counts because it counts for each equipped creature. So it's just one creature. It's counting the creature, not the bucket hats.
Oh, so I need a second creature.
Yeah.
And then equip that, and then they both get +4/+4.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like a bit of a trap in that it seems like that is a very powerful effect, and very well could be if you get that kind of curve out. Easy to curve with this because
so you want to equip cheap artifacts first, and then equip the bucket hats
exactly.
3,
and then
they all churn in.
Just goes,
and then everybody gets free hats, and everybody comes in for $1 million.
This is like a build a crater hoof if you've randomly got a lot of creatures and artifacts. But the thing is, if you've got a lot of creatures that are all equipped, that you're probably winning that game anyway.
Well, maybe not.
I mean, this just absolutely ensures that you win that game.
Yeah, I mean, this is insane. That spot,
exactly.
Right?
I love how it's 0 to cost.
Yeah.
0 to cast. So
you can just go surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn 5 or whatever. You've got 2 short swords on your things. Surprise, dead creature. Get the bucket hat on. In for $1 million.
It's rare, so we won't be seeing multiples of them around. It's interesting. You're gonna have to really go all in. I think.
I keep coming back to this, but it's another one that probably works really well with that Tristan card.
Yeah,
it starts distributing the bucket hats everywhere.
Yeah.
So everyone gets the bucket hats equipped, and then they all just go out of control. Yeah, because the Tristan card negates the need for all your other creatures to already have equipment attached. They get the bucket hats.
Yeah, cool card.
Handing them out.
Really,
really
cool
design.
card.
Love it.
Yeah. Just wordy.
Yep.
I love the art.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And RCQ bucket hat. Everyone got given free bucket hats at an RCQ. It's so weird the promos they do. Like the towels, like what magic player goes to the pitch?
You got to come into 3-0 to get one of them.
Yeah.
Good luck.
See none of them in my bathroom.
No.
Did you read that one?
I did.
Getting tired. Sleeping Towel. Cost 2 artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +0/+1 and has vigilance. 2. Equipped creature gains hexproof until end of turn. That's the first time I've seen the word hexproof in this set. Equipped for 2.
Sucks.
Yeah. You know what's really cool? Some of his cards in this set have Ward.
Yeah,
and
great.
like Ward 3
Great.
is a really good
Ward's great.
halfway to Hex.
Yeah, well, they've stopped hexproof.
Yeah, exactly.
They've removed Shroud.
Yep.
They upgraded with hexproof, and they went, no, it's still not the positive play experience you want to have.
Yep.
Let's do Ward.
Yep.
And Ward is
fantastic. Brutal, like Cab Cannoneer, and that it's just like I can't kill this thing.
Trespasser.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's so innocent until you try and target it. It's like, okay, pay up.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
So this does give hexproof. Equipped creature. So 2 and 2 and 2 to potentially give something hexproof. Maybe that's good. Creature gets +1 and has vigilance is nice. So this is you just want to do you want to put this on a big creature or a small creature? Probably want to put it on a big thing, right? And just give it potential hexproof.
I don't think you want to put this one in your deck.
Yeah, maybe that's just
too much. You're not getting any cost associated with your thing.
Yeah, you're jumping through a lot of hoops. That's right.
No.
Yep. And the text on this is there is not enough sheets or blankets at an Airbnb. Scott K arrives late and so is given a towel to sleep under. Oh, that's a terrible time.
Yeah, well, that's your own fault.
Yeah, that's some.
You should know better than that.
Oof.
Learn the hard way.
Alright, I've got Small Door, 4 colours, Artifact Creature Door, 0/2. Small Door can't block creatures with power 1 or less. Protection from creatures with power 2 or more. I believe I remember being around this when it was created. I think it was during the final of Ian and Rob where the Peanut Gallery was around and cracking jokes and laughing. Flavour is during the finals of Faction Champs. The Drunken Peanut Gallery is reduced to tears over the idea of a small door and tries to design it as a magic card. 4 mana, I'm already seeing that's quite a lot to cast. Can't block creatures with power. Protection from creatures with power. No, it's not for me.
Really? Man, protection in limited... I mean, protection in anything, but just straight up protection from creatures when there's no planeswalkers in the format.
It's...
look, man, it just makes everything unblockable.
Protection from creatures
with power 2 or more, so everything other than things with 0 or 1 power. So
yeah, but do you really want a 4 mana greater blocking? Can't do anything else.
No, this is an attacking card, not a blocking card. Can't block. Yeah, no, you're not blocking with this creature. You're just attacking with this. Well, yeah, but you can do either.
Small Door can't block creatures, but why would you want to attack with this creature? Am I missing something?
No, you want to attack because you put it on. You put any equipment on this, and then you've just got free attacks every single turn. They can't do anything about it.
Creatures with power 2 or more, so anything that has 2 or more power can't block.
So you put it in the equipment deck.
Yeah, you need to.
It's not even need to be an equipment deck. You just need 1 or 2 equipment, and maybe there's some. There's probably a number.
You need to augment it.
Yeah, so there's some number of equipment that you need to make this work. But once you've got this, it's not, but it's
I still
hex drinker.
I still couldn't really see myself playing unless specifically playing the equipment deck personally, but. Yeah.
If you're playing an equipment deck and you see this thing come around, I'm snapping this off so hard because they just can't deal with it. I guess they can deal with it, isn't it? When you put the hexproof.
It's also protection.
Put the towel on it.
It's also protection from creatures. It's not like you can still remove it.
Of course,
you can still kill it.
4 mana. Go-to is a lot.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those cards you have to jump through a lot of hoops, and maybe you're bashing them down, but. Yeah, 4 mana is just too expensive for my liking.
Yeah, I don't think that you're necessarily having to jump through that many hoops. The hoop is that you just need any equipment because it does the rest. You're not having to pay for that ability to make it give a protection or anything. Like it does all the other stuff already. You just need an equipment to put on it.
But I guess say you play this 4th turn, and then you put an equipment on it 5th turn. It's pretty slow.
The turn 4, but it does block.
It's crazy. It's crazy how good this goes with Sleeping Tower because Sleeping Tower giving it vigilance is insane.
Yeah.
So having a creature with protection from creatures,
you got to find another way to. You got to make that 0 up. You got to pump that rook.
I can just see circumstances where I'm playing fairly aggressively. You're putting this out of play turn 5 you're putting equipment on, I just sports injury and response, and all of a sudden tempo's just way.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be that. It can be pretty much anything kills this immediately.
It's look.
I think this is a defensive card.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
You mentioned that again, Millie format's slow, but you also mentioned there's a mill deck.
Yeah, that's right.
This is part of the mill deck in my opinion.
Yeah.
Protection from creatures.
Yeah.
Blocks all day.
Yeah.
And I'll just block you, and I'll just invalidate. This is like 4 mana, disable your best creature that doesn't have evasion every single turn.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got the well, it doesn't work with the fucking trample card. I was going to use that, but trample card does not care about this. Guy, right? 6/6, 7/7. So yeah, I'll block. I think it's too much. I think unless there's like ways to, like at the beginning of your combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter attack creature control, and now you're cooking. Because it's like turn 3, play Siege Veteran. Let's say there's a Siege Veteran format, which is 2 mana, beginning combat, put a 1/1 counter. Something. Turn 4, play Small Door. Combat, put a counter. Next combat, put a counter. Okay, now we're cooking. Yeah, because you've got a defensive countermeasure that can also just send Sideblades once the board's stable or you're attacking.
Yeah,
but you need to have a single card, like one single card to augment this to make it good, because otherwise how many hoops you're gonna jump through, right? Like exactly. It's a 4 mana O2.
And depending on what kind of equipment you're you're gonna have to have some critical mass of equipment to make it so that when you play this, you've got equipment.
You could play against a green red deck, right? Have this long game one. It's like, I only seen 2 removal spells. I just bought in my Small Door. It's like, you can never kill the Small Door. You will always block your best creature, and you get to play the game outside of that. So I think as applications, I think you'll notice the applications, and the only spot that it would be good in would be particularly the mill deck. Unless because there's tons of cards I haven't seen. Unless there's ways to just like in the new set, there's a card like 3 mana, make an artifact a 5/4. It's like, cool, let's do that. Let's turn 4, turn 5, put that on, see you later. We've got 4 turns kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably initially over-evaluating because I'm thinking of cards like True Name and Hex. But of course they are protection from everything.
Insane.
Yeah, but protection from everything is like a completely different proposition.
We just talked about how hexproof is not a thing anymore. The protection is not a thing anymore because it's just the highest single powered thing there is.
Yeah, that's right.
There's no more powerful keyword than protection.
Protection, very good. When I see it, maybe
block the drive-by? There's a protection.
It'll block for 2. Trample will go over the top, so it can only block for its assigned damage, assigned block value, which is 2.
Trample is
unless they they can't even assign everything to it because it's trample.
Yeah.
This is an actual photo, by the way.
Is it me?
I think so.
Yeah. Sure. 2-door golf, 2 mana artifact creature, leech construct. Leech construct, I like that. It's a 5/5. Suspend 4 for 2. And a cumulative upkeep 1. When 2-door golf enters the battlefield, it loses all abilities if you didn't cast it from your hand.
Okay.
That makes it better. Because cumulative upkeep is negative. And
it's 6.
Hang on, a 2 and a... Yeah, okay.
I like it. I really like it.
Cumulative upkeep, is that you're paying 1 on every upkeep?
2,
and then 2 and
3.
3. Okay, sure. Yeah, cumulative. Got it. So funny, all those tires. 5/5.
This card is sweet.
I like it.
Seems great because it seems like before the cumulative upkeep matters, you might have just killed them.
Well, they either wait for it to go away, which it might not go away if you can just hit your land drops.
Yep.
And then you get to play a game after it, or they block it and they gain
kill
they kill it, or they kill it and they gain a mana advantage. Or alternatively, you can suspend it,
which is arguably the best of all,
and you just get a 5/5 on turn 6.
Of course.
Without having to actually cast it.
Of course. Because the suspend is the...
Or without having to pay
I think this card's really good.
So do I.
Yep, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I love that.
You're hoping to play it early. If you're playing it late, you'll probably be able to afford to play it.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right?
Exactly.
If you draw this on turn 6 or turn 7, you don't mind just putting it into play because, what's the upkeep cost? Not that much.
Yeah,
you don't have a whole lot to do with your mana.
Yep.
And if you do, you can just suspend it.
Yep.
I love leech construction. That's great.
Yeah.
You
We'll be back on the
know
road
the
by
story
the
behind
weekend.
this one, don't you? Trent?
Yes, I do. Yes. Yeah.
This is the saga of this is Swanee's golf being at the mechanic for 4 months. 2 of the doors didn't open at all. So faction people that have gotten a lift with me or with Mike to Tawny's have had to climb through the windows. That takes me back. I've done that in cars before.
I love this card. I love its design.
That's
And then
great.
this card is beautifully designed.
Yep.
Really, really clever.
Yeah, that's sick.
Geez, I'd love to play this card.
Just put this in the jank box.
Put this in the Highlander deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm coming in.
You like this next card even more.
Oi.
Baby. Oh, yeah.
Who's got this one?
It's you.
It's
Oh,
you.
man, Viennetta Slice. Cost 1. It's an artifact. Food. Tap it until end of turn. Target land you control becomes the basic land type of your choice. 2 and tap it. Sacrifice Viennetta Slice. You gain 3 life, so it's just the food. 4 and tap it. Sacrifice Vienna Slice. Draw a card.
What's a 4 drawer card on this? Like, I mean, obviously it's a food. Is it just the way to just get some value out of it? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it generally has a reason.
What's the flavour reason?
Just the flavour reason.
You eat it all. And
Just eat it all?
And you
feel
Yeah,
better?
yeah,
Yeah.
feel great.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this, and to me, this doesn't seem good because the land even is. It's not like you give that land. I mean, maybe that'd be too much for one, to give it the type, but that doesn't seem great to me. Like 5 mana to draw a card. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
3 mana to draw 3 lives.
No,
like the
It's
fact that you can't.
very bad fixing.
If these were you didn't have to sacrifice, if it was like 4 mana or 5 mana draw a card and you don't have to sacrifice it, maybe then you're like somewhat
and
good with
even
it.
if it was like maybe 2 mana and sacrifice to draw a card, that would be a lot more palatable.
Yeah, it's
But
a
even
bit
then,
too steep.
it's like
Yeah.
cycle 3, yeah.
A bit too short and a bit too steep.
Which is a shame because it is
This should be a
it is
legendary.
the decadent king of
Yeah,
desserts.
it's a delicacy.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
a rare delicacy.
That's right. Right, Hoody.
All right, the vintage cube.
I don't think
That
I've
sort of
seen
looks
that.
like me. I don't know if it is. 4 mana, legendary artifact cube. Tap, sacrifice a vintage cube, add 3 mana of any one colour. 1 blue tap, sacrifice a vintage cube, draw 3 cards. 1 colour, some blue mana, tap it, sacrifice a vintage cube, take an extra turn after this one. I had the pleasure of drafting this on Saturday and it was bonkers.
That's mental. That's like time warp.
I know that
For one more.
there's a temptation to read it and think, well, it's 4 mana, then you have to pay this. No, just ignore that. There's obviously its abilities are bonkers. People often forget that when you have a choice of a number of different things, it makes the card a lot better than obviously having one ability. It's just one of those cards that I don't know if you necessarily use the first ability, but having those 2 of the more powerful abilities in the game, having a choice between those 2 depending on the time of the game is huge. There'll be times where I used it to draw 3 cards and just get above board with card advantage. There'll be times where you take an extra turn to just win the game next turn. Yeah, I thought it was just amazing.
That seems extremely well costed. All 3 effects seem really, really powerful. That seems like a very good card. And we're reading that correctly? It seems like there's no way to read that in any... I mean, you're not putting this in an aggro deck, to be sure. Oh, maybe you are, actually, because even the sacrifice to take an extra turn, if you've got a wide board, you just win the game.
It's
Got the same, same cost as a time warp almost.
I don't think it's as I don't think it's as absurd as what it reads. But it's obviously very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean, it can get you out of any spot.
Yeah.
It gives you the ability to get out of any spot. It can do I mean 5 mana draw 3 is very good.
Yep.
6 mana take an extra turn, not that great. But the fact that you can do it at any turn, any time.
Yep.
Thing that I will be interested the most in this is actually just recurring it.
Yeah.
And so getting it back from the graveyard. Like, how do you break this?
Would you if for whatever reason you couldn't play blue, would you play this in your deck, and would you always play this in your deck? Would you drop an island or two in your deck just to play it?
No, I don't think so. Like, it doesn't. I mean, it is a little contextual. Like, if let's say you've got like 8, 9 drops in your deck, or you got X spells or whatever, or you have a way to manipulate to get blue mana, then yes.
Yep.
But like 4 mana for the Lotus Petal effect. For the Lotus effect that's a lot. You know, it's a lot. Like, if that 7 drop isn't gonna win you the game, then it's probably not worth it. Then again, if it's like one of the cards, then maybe you do it as just a super ramp spell to get into play.
I think the versatility is what really got me, because you could read it like, would I spend 5 mana to draw 3 cards? Maybe not. But there's a little bit extra going on in terms of you can play it in a lot of decks, and that choice is big for me. Like, you're never in a situation where you don't want those abilities, and
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to take this, just my first card after it is good. I'm just going to take the Skittering Surveyor, the Alex building card, right? So I know that I've always got blue, and then I'm great, and then it's fine. Then it's it's in every deck I ever play. That's great.
Yeah.
There's some interesting spots you can do, like getting the Vintage Cube into play, and then 3 turns later in your opponent's end step, you can like sacrifice Tegitail, so you actually take 2 turns in a row with all your untapped mana.
Sure.
Wow.
Which is that's a really, really powerful way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously it's absurd. Like, you're just gonna take it. You're gonna go put an island in your deck, and it's going to do a bunch of really cool shit.
Yeah, I mean, this would like
if you ever tap it for the first thing, you win the game.
Oh, sure, yeah,
right?
Exactly.
If you add 3 mana of any one color, like the game's over.
I mean,
you win. And then the other 2 are just obviously like 2 of the most powerful decks you can have in Magic.
Yeah. So one day someone's going to have both this in their deck, and they're going to have that Papa, Mishra's Workshop card, and they're going to power this out on turn 2 with Mishra's Workshop. Oh, I guess you can't be turn 3.
But then, do you want to be?
You just refill. You draw 3.
Yeah.
Like I said, as you're aware, the thing that I'm most interested about is randomating this. How do I get this back into play?
Yeah,
sacrifice the tag
exactly.
turn, put it back into play.
Yeah.
That's how I want to play this.
That is Yep, love that. That is super sweet.
And of course, the flavour is Dan's Ford Vintage Cube that's provided many hours of drafting entertainment.
This is the person being blinded by the foils.
Blinded by it, because it is.
I thought it might have been me, because it's like, Vintage Cube, get away from me.
Exactly.
If anyone's gone to a Faction Invitational and had the pleasure of seeing this, it is
beautiful.
The best version of every card of the Vintage Cube. It's insane.
Alrighty. Who read that?
I think it was
someone else.
Yeah, it's up to you, mate.
Alright, we're the Wall of Chicken. 4 mana 06, artifact creature, food wall. Like that.
Yeah.
Defender. 2, sacrifice it, you gain 3 life. Oh, also, at the beginning of your next end step, you may pay 2. If you do, gain 3 life, otherwise you lose the game.
Wait, what?
Also another clause, exile Wall of Chicken from your graveyard, scry 3. So 4 mana 06 that you can sacrifice to gain 3, and at the beginning of your next upkeep, you may pay 2. If you do, you gain 3, otherwise you lose the game. Exile Wall of Chicken from your graveyard, scry 3.
It's almost like an echo effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you don't pay your deck, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean that's a brutal echo effect.
And it's a 0.
Well, no, it's not. It's just it's pay 2.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
So gain 3.
There's probably not any way.
So gain 6. So it blocks for a shitload. It just blocks forever. It costs 4 mana, so it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's not for me.
No, I'm not about this. I mean, scrying 3, exiling it just for nothing from your
graveyard. So if you're milling this thing,
yeah.
Pretty dope. Like
that is the ability.
If you put Tim, if Tim puts this into the graveyard, you're laughing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big body. 06 is huge.
Yep.
The only thing's getting over it's that
Yeah.
car.
Yep.
Pretty much. The car all represents. That's it, really.
You're the Jonos.
Yeah,
you're
the
the
big
7.
And not all the Jonos necessarily either. I think. Or were they 6/6s?
I think they're all 6/6s.
Yeah, and one's a flyer.
I mean, it's a good defensive spot. You gain a lot of life if you're being under pressure from creatures, from flyers. You gain 6 life. It gives you some looks at the top of your deck to try and find the best cards.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm kind of into it.
I'm happily taking it as a sideboard card, obviously against any kind of aggressive creature or burn deck or something.
Yeah, I mean it's great in that spot.
Yeah,
it's great against the aggro decks.
Or as you say, mill over this, and then you just
if you're a
if
you're a very slow deck that's trying to like win by like a 2-card combination of like mill recursion or something like that, sure, this is where you want to be. Yeah, I think it's a fine choice. I think it's a fine card. It's going to play really well on defensive decks, and it's going to be a nice little sideboard piece.
Could keep you alive with your jank cube.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet with Jank Cube. Yeah, nice little blocker.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, we make it
happen.
We're getting the wheels are turning.
There you go.
We're going to get you out of here before...
what's the flavour? I don't actually know this one.
After O2 dropping in Modern Tourney, a few faction people hit the pub, and Leonard ordered the Palmer. Comes out and it's comically large. Everyone else orders one. No one can get through it except Leonard, who was instantly put into a food coma and has to go home.
Ball of chicken.
Alright.
Washed car. Costs 2. It's an artifact vehicle. Washed creatures can crew washed car as if their power was 1. It's crew 2.
What?
So this was Elliot, wasn't it? Coming home from something?
Mike, what are these vehicles, dude? They're so good.
I think, and look, we obviously were really early days. I don't think, Swanee's not a massive player of normal drafts. He tends to play a lot of cubes and that kind of thing. So it remains to be seen if these are a little bit pushed, and if they are, I'm sure we'll be able to do some work with that. But this reads pretty damn good to me.
Oh, this one's a nice one. Yeah, this one's insane.
Yeah. So I mean, even without that first line, I'd be happy to play this.
I mean, you see, the thing is, and it's the thing that you don't know, is that like because Crew 1 is a joke. But is Crew 2 that easy? Now, it sounds like, yeah, it is. But there's a ton of O2s.
Yeah.
And then maybe the O2s are the good card, or good creature that you want in your deck, which then pressure you to play worse creatures to play the artifacts, the vehicles. Yeah. So maybe there's a bit going on there that we haven't understood until we've drafted.
It's interesting because also one thing this has going for it is in most sets, the 2 drops have almost always got a 2 power. And I've got a feeling that a lot of the 2 drops in this set are 1 power.
Yeah,
which
from
makes
what I've seen, that's kind of what makes me think a little bit more about why this is the case. Because this one, the 8/6, and then the
similar to Heart of Kiran type one.
Yeah, that one's and then the bike. The bike and the car
scooter.
The scooter. Yeah,
great. Yeah.
Not the. I was going to say the car, but the car's not a vehicle. But they're all very good.
Yeah.
Like by modern set design, these vehicles are very good. And there's like by modern set design, this doesn't seem to hit the power level. Like a lot of these cards don't hit the power level of modern card design, which is great. But that is a bit of a red flag when some of them do, because that means that they stand out too much and they can warp a format or warp a draft experience too drastically.
Yep. That is definitely how that 8/6 vehicle feels like when it's played against you. It's
I can see it's miserable.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, I can just see that.
This?
Like so again, every card I'm looking at, I'm getting like a feeling. You get feeling of like, yeah, this is awesome, it's great. Yeah. But the 8/6, and I know we've gone over a few times, and I'm sorry that we have better. So that was the one I'm like, it's the same as like the 5-mana 3/3. That's just like exile permanent.
You know what it feels like when it gets what the feeling is similar. Having that played against you is similar to when someone casts an Ulamog, and you're like, oh shit!
Yeah, Glory
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I guess you just win.
Yeah. But the beauty about this set is we're not owning packs of it. So if we have problematic cards, and we're very early days.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We can just put those aside.
Yeah, for sure.
Put them in.
Yeah. I'd be very. I'm always super. Not skeptical. Whatever the word. Like I kind of think like play it out. Play it. Yeah, don't just go trying to errata cards.
No,
right from
absolutely
the start.
not.
Yeah, when it's like, you want to see what it's like, and if something becomes absolutely just like, all right, this is ridiculous. I think that's one of Magic's strengths, is that for so long before, now I guess now they're doing it with the alchemy cards and stuff, but for so long it was like, yep, we fucked up, we printed this card, deal with it.
Yeah,
It's going to be in your vintage cubes, it's going to be in your legacy cubes, it's going to be like, you're going to find in places like Highlander every now and then, deal with it.
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me. It's awesome. It's like it's going to be an awesome draft experience. Like vehicles and artifacts are fantastic. They're a great way to play Magic. They present a bunch of different options of attacking and blocking with drafting your decks. You know, like I said, we touched on it. The fact that maybe Crew 2 is actually more difficult than what we think. The fact that we think that maybe Crew 4 is more than Crew 5 or whatever they are more difficult. It makes you draft differently. And if everybody's doing that, that inherently warps the format and it makes it even harder to do, which makes other cards better. So
it's funny how draft is often to an extent self-correcting.
Self-correcting to an extent. To an extent.
Alrighty. And that's Elliot, washing his defaced car on the way home from Mount Borbor Invitational. He was so worried about running out of petrol that he went in neutral down the whole way. That is really unsafe.
That's not straight as safe at all.
That's crazy.
Jesus. I'm kind of surprised that the wash car is a 4/4. Shouldn't it be like a I suppose a 4/4.
There's not many other ways.
Maybe it should be an 0/4. But you know, it gets +1/+1 for each wash creature that crews it or something. I don't know. You know, 0/2s, 0/4s, whatever.
I didn't see many. Did you see many people having that many washed creatures? I didn't see that many getting around.
I get a feeling that green, when you first look at it, doesn't look as powerful as some of the other colours, and might have been because I know that me and the two people sitting next to me were all playing blue-red. Blue-red and possibly other, so we all both basically got stuck in the same colours. And I think black and green was generally getting underdrafted, and maybe it was the impression I was getting.
I was getting cut in black by Nathan, so I knew that.
Black might have just been weird.
Black has a tendency, Nathan has a tendency to cut black in for us. Alright.
This card's so sick, I love this.
And then I think it's my turn. We got 3, which is 3 colours. Its creature type is 3, and the flavor text is 3, and it's a 3/3.
Moving on.
Not much. So funny though. Is that playable? That's playable, isn't it? There's decks that want that, right? Just fills it out, goes in every deck.
Your opponent's got a bunch of 2/2s and 2/3s. Yeah, sure. 3/3.
It's great.
Alright.
Naibeth?
Well, it's Fabian backwards.
Naibeth? Blind Master. Draft Naibeth, Blind Master, face up. He's a 2-mana 4/4. As long as the Blind Master is face up during the draft, you can't look at booster packs and must draft cards at random. When a new pack is opened, turn him face down. That is sick. That is so
and we actually,
fucking cool.
We had Leo drafted.
When did he draft it?
So he drafted second pack, I think maybe, and he drafted it. I don't think it was first.
I feel like it was pretty early though.
It was pretty early. It might have been
maybe
3 or 4 to guess because he kept on asking me me and other people to pick a card. I'm like, what is he doing that for?
This is sus because he was going on. My deck's not working.
See, I thought during the draft you were saying how sick his deck was, but it bombed the deck. And
he did get land stuck and stuff.
There's some trickery going on with this one. This is great.
You know what?
So this has been pre-banned from the constructed. We would eventually, at some stage, we were doing. I think it may even be a chance. One of the things we want to do is do a.
You can't play this in constructed. It's too good.
Oh the card. This card is pre-banned in the constructed version of this.
No.
But there will be a version of this that's going to get done at some stage where you literally build 4.
Oh, fantastic! Standard decks.
Constructed, standard decks.
Faction Invitational.
That's right. So you can have like 4 Tim Sandrins or whatever, Sheriff Sandrins. And
a very, very quick pop quiz. What is the number in the pack you want to be drafting this card? That's not too high, not too low.
11.
Okay.
Well,
10.
sorry. Assume it's pack 2.
Or Depends on how bad your deck is.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to answer that question.
Even 11 is probably a little low. You could go like 9.
I was about to say, I'd probably go about 8 or 9.
9, I reckon.
Because I think the last...
9 because you've seen the packs, you've picked the best card out of each pack, and you could make a determination of if you actually wanted to try and wheel a specific card.
I think the last 4 cards, I'm getting a probably borderline not in my deck a lot of the time.
Yeah, so anywhere between 8, 9, and 10 is probably good.
Yeah.
And you could, depending on your power level, you could like pack 3. You could first pick this if you just had like a very solid deck.
Yeah.
Because it's a very solid card.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a better 2-drop than this. You're just not.
Exactly.
Like outside of like being the workshop deck and having the workshop creature, you're not going to get a better 2-drop than this for the most part.
Yeah.
This is very good.
This is so funny too. Blind Master, epic artwork. Blind Master. This is Fabian.
This is
Fabian almost always drafts cards without reading them and finds out that his deck doesn't work halfway through the game.
everything about this is a master. This is a masterpiece.
It really
this
is.
It's
This is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, like you. And there's this, and it's even at the table too, because people know. Like if I open it, like people know, or maybe they don't know, but once they see it, they know there's a blind master going around, and it's like, well, everybody wants it, but when do they take it? So when does it like? Do you like? Let's say pick 4. I take a good card. Pack 2, I take a good card. Pack 3, I take a good card. And pack 4 is a limp pack. There's nothing there for me. I don't want anything.
Yeah.
And this is. Do I do it?
That's
do you suck up that cost?
I mean,
you know what I mean? That's so cool. Yeah, that's
I think it's the absolute perfect design because it's colourless, right?
Yep.
So we're eliminating the fact that it's not my colours. It seems to be the perfect power and toughness for the risk versus reward factor. At 5/5, it would be too powerful.
Yep.
At 3/3, no.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Perfectly done.
I would love to know how much time Mike spent on this card in particular.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how much time he spent on all of these cards.
I can't even fathom it. It's crazy.
But this card in particular, this is the kind of card that you send to Watsy.
Yeah. Sure.
This is the kind of card that you go, because this, in my opinion, this is a fucking masterpiece. Yeah. This is the best.
The fact that it looks so badass, with the black,
I love
the border, the old border and everything. It's just
This is incredible.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful card.
Yeah, love it.
What a
beautiful card, beautiful man. Let's go. I think that's the end of
our... have we just got land left?
We've got land left. Yeah, maybe we just...
If we just got land left, let's
literally 10
click on each, have a couple of words about each location. Yeah. Then I think we've wrapped this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it because there's 10 lands.
All the lands do the same thing.
Let's start with bar 8.
Do you want to... We'll go in order to talk about... Quickly, brief...
Let's do it. Bar 8 enters the battlefield. So the Rakdos land is bar 8.
Yeah.
I mean, just, you just got to look at
Have you been to bar 8
This video's not going to go over long.
Awful.
Have I been? Yeah, of course. Yeah, we were at bar 8, weren't we?
Yeah.
We've been at bar 8 before.
Yeah.
Pool Hall in Bundoora.
Yep.
Can be pretty rough. We've had some fun there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always seems like a good idea.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Centre court. It's of course the is it Simic? You call it Simic. That's a table. One of Pete's tables that we often use as the centre court, which is basically our feature table.
Yep.
Nice. I've never played on that table, and every time I see it, I'm glad I'm not the one that has to play on it because
it's not too
I
bad.
just can't. I couldn't
not as
deal
bad.
with the.
It's not as bad as you think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yep.
Charles Dickens Tavern. This is my place. This is my house. This is the Punk Stomping Ground. This is O2 Beers.
Yeah, love this. Doors up too. Is there a Nick Chow somewhere hiding?
There's a Nick Chow at the back. Yeah. He's a chef cooking up.
That would have made this.
What's your favourite meal at Charles Dickens Tavern?
I usually go to curries. Curries are always solid. But I'm not a Palmer man, but the Palmer is quite nice. I've actually had the Palmer a few times.
Yep. I like
Gibbo swears by the Palmer. He reckons it's one of the best Palmers he's ever had.
Good size Palmer.
Good, very good. Yeah. No, it's good. It's pricey because it's like to pub in the middle of Melbourne, but it's good. Service is good, beer's good, food's good.
Awesome. Head there, and make sure you head to Plenty of Games as well.
Do that.
Oh yeah.
This is the perfect
after Plenty of Games, baby.
Yes.
Hit up Club Retro. I don't even know if that's not even the inside of Club Retro. I don't
you tell us.
Usually I'm too blind every time. Every time I've ever
got
got there.
Retro, I reckon I've been there once in my life.
There is one of the cards is me and Shane at Retro.
Sure.
Called like Big Night Out or
Right.
some shit.
Yeah.
So that's out to Land.
Yep.
Oh, the Faction Commander, one of the classic memes. It gives you white or green. Look, it was a joke at the start. I never thought in a million years I'd ever play Game of Commander. Yeah, we're playing weekly Commander.
Becoming much less of a joke. More faction members rolling down this hill every day.
Oh yeah, green red. Interesting. I thought this one might have been green blue. You know.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, no, but green red is like, because I mean, if you look at Wooded Foothills, it looks very much like that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad shot of it generally, but yeah, green red. There you go.
Awesome.
Just looking at that makes me want to be there. That was
Gilgate.
That was sick. Just
Green white.
God,
There's
you know
a
that,
young spry hoodie there.
you
mate,
know
isn't
it's
that?
old when I'm playing Magic in a picture.
Is that Brenny? Brenny on the right there in the Jerry
Oh,
shirt.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That must have been
Yeah.
PPT.
Nick, is that Nick Chow?
Oh, is that Sukama?
No, that's
that's
Brenny.
That's Nick.
Oh,
Brent.
is it?
It's got them all, I think.
I've got to say the resolution is quite low.
That's got to
So
be Nick Chow at the back
yeah.
there. 100%. Nick
Yeah.
playing against Nathan.
Yeah.
Are you playing against
just
Dogan in the front there? Is
Yeah,
that
I think
Dogan?
I am,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look at that. It's got them all.
Gee, that is sick.
That's unreal.
Yep. Oh, gee,
Plenty of
Oh,
games. There we
baby.
are. I love
You got the
that.
best land of
yeah,
all.
it is at land.
Make sure you buy all your supplies at the best store in the world. Plenty of games. Trent, Gibbo, all the owners, Isaac Scott. Brilliant. What can I say?
Yeah,
Head
best
there.
card game on the planet. If you want to go somewhere that regularly gets over 100 people through the door on a weeknight, that's where you want to be. One of the things I couldn't stand when I started playing Magic was actually you'd turn up at NLG. It's like, oh, I've got a free night. Oh, I'll go play some Magic or whatever. And you turn up, it's like nothing happens. There's a game of D&D or whatever. I'm going to see that at plenty of games.
Yeah. Preston Food Truck Bar.
Yeah,
Also a good one.
Yeah.
A few beers had there. Yep. Good place. Very
These
good
all
place.
need these. I'd love these to have flavour text on them.
Yeah,
I bet there'd be a great witty one-liner.
Yeah.
You'd be able to come up with about each of these.
The Track House. Oh,
And
wow.
how good is this for Azorius too? Just looks at the whole
Beautiful.
thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
So
Lovely
there's the
place.
track house that we stay in.
Twice or three times.
Yeah, we did it twice. Two
Twice, yeah.
invitationals. And,
Just love to go back there again.
oh,
too.
fantastic. We had a pool. So
Sleeping quarters, everything was good.
Exactly.
Yeah, beautiful place.
We
Love
may
that.
find you back there one day if it's get rented out. Is that everything?
That's everything, guys.
God, that has
Done it.
flown by.
Plenty of games. Yeah, we
Well,
have.
it's only 12:08.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't feel like it. Look, it's
It's work tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Work tomorrow?
Yep.
Yep. That's devotion right there. 12:08.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. Well done, guys. That's the full set reviewed now. Every colour, colourless, lands, multicoloured, the whole bit.
Now I get to go and put them on at the store and actually sit and watch them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, well, if you're watching this, it's already been uploaded, so I'm not going to say we'll go and upload it now, because...
Is this automatically uploading, is it?
No. I've got to put this on YouTube.
Yeah, sure. Great.
Well, you're going to be up for another hour, mate.
Good morning. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, fellas.
What a set.
It's great to share this with you.
Absolutely.
Swanee, you're a legend.
Yeah,
Absolutely
can't
brilliant.
express it honestly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind blown. Absolutely. You just it's unreal. Like just the fact that the amount of curation, thought, and care you put into like every single card. Like that some of them almost like 98% of all these cards are just like insane.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
even the ones that like particularly like we might have had a bit of like maybe there's a little curation or whatever, or like still awesome. Like, the fact that you've done it, just mind blown, man.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
seriously, I can't wait to draft it.
Yeah.
I actually cannot wait to draft
Well,
this.
we've drafted it once, and all the games pretty much played.
It
out
just looks like so much
fantastically.
fun.
Yeah, there never was a moment where you're like, oh man, this is looking real sketch for someone, or it's just not happening. Every deck that everyone built, whether it was a Hoodie tribal deck or a solid thing or a reanimator or
It
whatever
felt like
it was,
drafting a good set.
all of it.
Yeah, it looks
really
great.
all
I'm
work.
pumped.
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
Yeah,
Get
and
that
what I
playing
like
games.
about it too is that
Yeah.
for some of us who with new cards, so much text, you don't with this you play and you're like, I understand what the card.
I didn't get that
does.
feeling. Yeah, I didn't get
Yeah.
that feeling. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
I always say that modern card design, limited sets. Cards do too much. Your commons, they do 3 different things. They're way too powerful. This is just right.
Yeah, exactly.
Just right. For the most, for like 98%. Just beautiful.
The overload of text, it just opens you up to these blowouts where it's like, I didn't read the 7th thing the questing beast does, and I can't block it. I forgot about that part, or that I can't, you know, whatever it is.
Brilliant. I just,
Can't wait to play it more. Let's go.
Thank you, team.
See you very much.